All right, all right, all right. We are
And
live.
that's how I would solve peace in the Middle East. Oh, we're live
Oh,
now? Oh
right.
shit.
Shit, we should have written that down. First off, if you haven't already, go check out City of Rot on Indiegogo. Link is in the description. Back it. Get all sorts of sweet loot. It's an awesome book coming from me and Geoff. So go check out the campaign because it is way more streamlined and less cluttered than my brain today. So read through that, check out the campaign trailer, and back it if you dig it. And there's also the link in the description for Alterna Access, where you can get all things Voidwalker, Kill Cade, and all the other sweet Alterna titles shipped straight to your door. So check that out too. And now we can get into the fun stuff, Geoff.
Hi everybody.
All right. So yeah, I already forgot what the title was. Talking horror with Geoff. I kept it simple so I wouldn't forget it. I still fucked it up. Yeah, I put together a little list finally instead of like playing tag through DMs and trying to figure this shit out of just a bunch of different random stuff. I know you probably have a bunch in your head, but I figured we could start figuring out a list of some horror movies we can start watching through since October is coming up.
Yeah.
Spooky season is upon us. I'm like pounding an energy drink, sorry.
I hope they're all lists of like Disney horror movies, like Mr. Boogedy.
Right. Oh man, wasn't that like genuinely fucking scary though back in the day?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's like that that Adventures of Mark Twain one I was talking about. I think it was you. It was you that popped into the stream and knew what I was talking about too, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. That's so weird.
That was another one where I don't think it was Disney, but it was like PBS or something. It was like this was for kids. I expected more people to know what I was talking about too, because that's like older than my time. And I just happened to like the schools I went to in public school early on when I was a kid were, I guess, like way behind on budget and shit like that. So like I was just unaware, I guess. Oh, I guess I can tweet this out too.
Horror is something that is like, I probably said this before on here, but it's something that gets left out of so many movies nowadays. Where like, you know, when we were growing up, we're watching Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all that kind of stuff. And they all had, even though they were like adventure films, they still had horror in them. You know, and even the old Disney films had horror elements in them. But nowadays, all that stuff is just taken out, and it has to be like fantasy comedy, fantasy action, or whatever, you know, the movie is. But horror always gets taken out nowadays.
Yeah, it's weird. It's I think it comes back to that like thinking audiences are like dumber than they are or can't handle it sort of thing. That whole like, oh, you can't mix too many genres anymore. It gets too weird. Like people can't follow it. Same way like there was so many like so much discussion about the Avengers movie before the first one came out about how it was going to be a huge shit show because of all the different like components and stuff like that. It's like we used to do stuff like this all the time. Like like golden age Hollywood was like the age of like movies are one thing and one thing only. Like,
right. But you know, it's not even mixing genres. Like it's just a full storytelling experience. You know, like fucking Snow White. That's a big family fun film with nice visuals and songs, but it also gets really scary for little kids.
Right.
You know, all those old Disney movies were
spooky as balls.
You got to have a little scare in there. You know, like what was it Disney said? Like for every laugh, there must be a tear or something like that.
Yeah, right. Something insanely creepy sounding.
Yeah, exactly. And you also got to beat your kids with a sack of Valencia oranges.
Oh man, Disney's the guys putting out all sorts of crazy PR to freak kids out.
For what?
Everything. Yeah, you know the old razor blades and the candy gag? That was us.
Dude, Halloween's got to either be amazing this year or it's going to be awful.
Yeah, you have to get one of those t-shirt guns and fire candy at kids who walk in the middle of the road. They walk by, and you have to appreciate the kids from afar, which sounds extra creepy.
You just gotta hang like, when people get married and they tie tin cans to their car and stuff. Instead of doing that, you just tie candy to it and let the kids chase after you.
Yeah. You brake really fast for the dumb ones.
Come on, fatty. just messing with all the little fat kids. Come on, this is a workout for you. You're gonna earn this candy.
Oh man. Yeah, I scrolled through Prime. I remember you said you didn't have Shudder, but you have Prime.
Mm-hmm. I got Prime and Netflix.
I think Prime owns Shudder or a stake in Shudder or something. I don't really know how it works.
It does, but I was looking into it after you told me that, and you still have to buy the service.
Yeah, they only have some movies, I guess.
What up, Ryan?
Fully unlocked. What is up, Ryan? Yeah. Pied Piper movie with kids. Oh my god. I was just watching a random Red Letter Media review on some movie, and there's a Pied Piper scene. Oh, I think it was the Zat review, if you've ever watched that one.
It was the first one, wasn't it?
I think so. It just randomly popped up, and I was like, I've never seen this. I don't even know what this is. And I clicked on it, and there's a scene where it just hard cuts to hippies at night, and one of them's playing guitar, and they're all just sort of sitting around. And it looks legitimately the whole cast and crew of the movie just high on acid. They all look wicked out of it. And then the sheriff from the movie walks around the corner and sits down to this hippie playing music. And then he has them all stand up without saying anything and leads the hippies away from their encampment. The Pied Piper, they're all just following the sheriff, the guitar guy in front, and everybody following behind the sheriff and the guitar guy. And then it cuts to them at the jail, and the sheriff just opens the jail cells and leads the hippies into the jail cells. And it seems like this weird ass social commentary. And then it just hard cuts away, and you never see the hippies again after he locks them into the jail cells.
Did you see their newest one with that was it White Diamond and Black Cobra?
I haven't watched it yet. No, I just saw that. I think I put it on my watch later list.
I want to find it because the guys on Bonfire. Do you listen to that show, Bonfire?
No, I've heard of it, but haven't checked. I get so into wormholes with one thing and then forget about the other shit I listen to for a while.
Right. Yeah, Bonfire's Big J. Okerson and Dan. Oh, damn, I'm forgetting his name now. But anyways, they're both comedians. They have their own show called The Bonfire, and they were talking about that too. And apparently this chick, I didn't know it, but from the movie, she has a whole assortment of videos on YouTube of other short films and music videos and everything. And it's just the same weird, terrible, awful shit. So I want to do a deep dive of her and just watch everything one night.
Yeah, I'm I've been talking to the group of friends that's interested in making a short film and everything, and there's a bunch of people stressed out and worried we're gonna make something really terrible, and I'm that would almost be more hilarious to me. I was maybe we should just go for something. Okay, it's Soder, that makes sense. Ryan got it.
I said it.
I'm Big J. Okerson without the fucking weird sweaty metalhead vibes. I don't get the leather wristbands you're gonna die in and stuff like that. I don't know if he's still doing that. I think the dude's fucking hilarious, but
fingerless gloves all the way, man.
Yeah, he dresses like a porno guy from the 80s.
He dresses like Kevin Smith, heavy metal-fied.
Yeah. He's gonna listen to this show now.
That'd be awesome.
Hey guys, I'm one of your viewers, and that fucking hurt.
Yeah. He's I'm actually one of the 4 listeners you have.
Right, you bastards. Enjoy your 2 listeners now, because I account for 2 of them.
Then we get in a podcast beef with Legion of Skanks. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, we'd blow up.
Come on, doggy. These guys suck.
Go ahead and dose me. I don't give a shit. Oh man, oh man. Yeah, so I made a little list. Some of the stuff we had already talked about, some shit I've never even watched, which could potentially be just going into it knowing it's probably gonna be bad. Like yeah, he's got a he ate Marilyn Manson and absorbed his features like Kirby vibe. Uh like if I wanted to cosplay Marilyn Manson, I'd be Jay Okerson.
Fat Manson. That was a bit on the show once.
That's great because I don't even really watch them, so there's no way I could have known that.
Oh, that was on the bonfire. You gotta watch that. It's hilarious.
One of the ones that stuck out to me that was something I've never actually watched and will probably be really bad, but I enjoy a lot of his other stuff is Lords of Salem from Rob Zombie.
I like Lords of Salem a lot.
I have never seen it. I have been to Salem a billion times. Our editor lives in Salem. It looked corny as shit to me from the get-go, and I was one of those people that was like, I would be totally cool with Rob Zombie just making schlocky splatter stuff forever. What is up, GJ? I always want to say JG. Probably because of all the JG Wentworth ads in our area. GJ, what is up, dude?
JG Wentworth.
By. Yeah, man, all the time. It's my dyslexia and JG Wentworth, I promise.
Yeah, Lords of Salem has you know that chick from the 80s with the crazy eyes that was in He-Man? And she was in They Live. You know what I'm talking about?
Chick from the 80s with crazy eyes.
Yeah, she's known for her weird eyes. She was in They Live.
I gotta look this up now.
Meg Foster.
Oh.
She's in it as the witch. Well, in the beginning, like when they show the witches from the past. And
yeah,
it's the scariest witch.
Isn't there ever. Another Meg Foster?
I think you're thinking Meg Ryan, maybe.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, yeah. She was like in Star Trek or something. I think back in the day, she played like a weird ass character.
Yeah, she's in like everything because she has like these really unique looking eyes.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers, one of those she was in. The one I actually haven't seen, I guess. Masters of the Universe. I remember her now, and she's actually in. I think one of Rob Zombie's. I think she was in 31.
Oh, she probably was. I mean, I haven't seen that one, but I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
usually just the same people. So.
Oh, if you haven't seen 31, so 31 I was super hyped for because I think it was like Bisley and what was it, Pat Mills doing concept art for it.
Oh, really?
I know Bisley did some, yeah, and he crowdfunded that. Like he put his own like website crowdfunding. Yeah, even as an old lady, like she's got a lot of character to her face and everything now, but she's a knockout back in the day, and she's still
gorgeous.
You better hope you still look that good at her age. She's no Helen Mirren, but let's stop getting horny about old ladies for a minute and stay on track. 31's another one that I 31
Adrian Barbeau.
God damn it. Monica Bellucci. What's it called? 31 basically it came out the way I imagine Lords of Salem would be. 31 is like incredibly hokey. Like super hokey. Oh, know who else there's another older white lady actor that was just in like a really cheesy like red box horror movie. And I saw it on Prime earlier today while I was making the list. I think the movie's called I See You, and I think it was Helen Hunt.
Okay.
And she's like made of rubber now. Like it was. I'm hoping. Like I haven't seen the movie, but I'm hoping for her sake it was like a weird photoshopped cover, and like they like photoshopped the shit out of her face. but whoa, was it crazy. Like, I couldn't even recognize her. I had to look up pictures of what Helen Hunt looked like again to be like, is this the same person?
She hasn't made movies in forever.
Yeah, that's why it was strange that she was like, I'm going to be in like a red box, like straight to TV horror movie. And I couldn't even tell you what the movie is about. There's like a guy in a chameleon mask. It looked weird.
I always felt it was weird. Like, remember that movie, What Women Want, with Mel Gibson and her?
Yeah.
I always thought it was weird that, like, you know, Mel Gibson at that time was like the dude. And I was like, you wouldn't go for her. Like, no offense. Like, she's a nice looking lady, but come on, this is Mel Gibson here.
Well, that was the whole thing too. It was like this guy needs this special power to get with this chick. It was like, this chick should be a bombshell then.
Yeah.
It's like Mel Gibson could just like, I mean, it was before all the crazy shit, so he could just like look at a lady and be like, we're doing it now.
And in that movie,
the shark.
What was her name? It's Peter's Aunt May in the new movies. Is in that.
Oh, Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei was in that movie, and I was like, dude, come on.
Which one?
All day. She was in What Women Want. She was the girl that he hooks up with.
Oh.
And then he realizes he's not that good at sex until he starts listening to her.
My memory on romantic comedies of the late 90s and early 2000s isn't great. Sorry.
That's all my knowledge.
Right. Something about Mary? Are you kidding me? She was good cast for Evelyn. Yeah.
Yeah, she was great.
She's like a carny person in 31. That's sort of the whole premise. And 31 was actually the reason I shelved /TV for so long. Was I was like, oh, I want to do like a gore fest, like Running Man, like not where it's like this game show for weird 80s people. Like I wanted to do something really wild, balls to the wall, and it's like a world where slashers are real and companies have figured out a way to monetize it and advertise around it. And
so you were afraid like it would be too similar until you saw the movie?
I was like, oh, it's already kind of similar to Running Man, so literally just be like a throwaway one shot for fun. And when I had the idea originally, I was like, I'll just put it up online for fun. And this was before my hands were even destroyed. And then 31 was like announced in crowdfunding and everything, and the whole pitch for it sounded like the exact same thing. And then I guess the amount of funding he raised, he had to like cut it down to a much smaller film. And it went from being like this splatter fest to like this weird little story about like a small team of people fighting off these weirdos. But originally it was like these like weird like clown killers, and like they're all sort of like their own slashers with their own little gimmick, and they're dropped into this warehouse for audiences to watch. And then it became more like this social commentary where it's like the audience is like 2 or 3 rich people watching, and they're wearing powdered wigs, and Malcolm McDowell's in it. Like it's just strange as all hell.
What's up, Razmaz?
What's up, Razmaz?
Yeah, that sounds like very 80s. Like, you know,
Jogging Man, that would have been perfect. Sprinting Boy.
Yeah, she's also the main evil witch in Lords of Salem, and she's fucking terrifying.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to check that out. I think there's a lot of overlap in Lords of Salem too, because they have that like the whole premise is it's like carny people traveling to the next carnival in like a van together. And like they're just one of those, it's like in the 70s, and it's like one of those pop-up carnivals that just like shows up in your burnout town, and it's all like the scummiest people you can imagine running the rides. And it's just this ragtag group of like drifter people who work for a carnival, and they get caught up in this weird fucking like murder show on Halloween. And they call the game show 31, and that's not really elaborated on or anything. It kind of is a mess of a movie. But
how do you rank, or what do you consider of Rob Zombie's movies as a whole?
Dig the trilogy. The Halloween movies I enjoy on their own. Is just like a stupid take on the Halloween movies. They're wildly violent. His stuff, I think, is sort of made to make you cringe. And I'm like, I love, like, I grew up on like New York crime movies and shit, like Death Wish. Fucking I love weird, gross stuff like that. That just like the film looks dirty and makes you feel dirty by the end of it by just like living in that for an hour and a half. What's going on, Randy? Yeah, so I'm wicked into that, and his whole aesthetic is kind of like that, but like Southern Gothic almost. It's weird. Like it's like not necessarily Southern Gothic, but like a Southern Americana grime. Like,
yeah, it's weird because he's like a Northern guy. He's like from New York or something, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And he's just, it makes sense though. Like if you grew up in, like you grow up a Yankee and everything, like I grew up here. I laughed the other day because Peter tried to say Connecticut isn't part of New England, and it definitely is. Insanity. I wasn't in the stream at the time, but I was like, what is this madness? Like yelling at my phone. I grew up in New England. So yeah, I'm like not a Southern dude at all, but like, you see all the like the cool sides of the South and everything is like everybody's fucking ripping around with guns and fucking everybody's like nice to each other down there for the most part when you see it and stuff. And it's like the glossy version of the South you see in movies is always like super fancy and uptight. Well, and he kind of did the opposite, like the like Route 66, like forgotten South.
Right. Well, you know, the funny thing, like not to go off on a tangent, but like, you know, I'm originally from Northern Virginia, and growing up, it was very like small town kind of vibe. Like everybody said hi when you walk by like and smiled.
Appalachia territory, technically.
I mean, we're next to the Blue Ridge Mountains and stuff, but we're more near DC.
Okay.
But it was always kind of had that same kind of country vibe, even though we lived in like the city-ish kind of area. But over the years, it's grown so much where like there's tons of government agencies, you know, there, tech companies, like Microsoft has a second headquarters there and all that kind of stuff. So like the whole vibe of that Northern Virginia area changed.
Oh, no way. Like, Microsoft has a headquarters near DC. Weird.
Yeah. And now Amazon too.
Oh, no way.
The whole area is like, it's just nothing but traffic. The demeanor of people is totally different. Like everybody's cold and stuff. So when we moved to Florida for the first time, we were like, oh shit, it's like what it used to be like when we were kids growing up, where, you know, literally you go to McDonald's and they go, hey sugar, how can I help you, sweetie? You know, it's like, oh, hi, you're nice to me. You know, I'm used to like indifference.
That was the first time I went down to Florida with my girlfriend and her family. And actually it's the same thing with Canada. We went up to Montreal, and like everybody up there was like freakishly nice. Even like the homeless people. They'll like walk up and ask you for a cigarette, but then it's like the most nice, respectful people you'll ever meet. It was insane. Not that I'm like passing judgment on homeless people. I was actually homeless right out of high school for a brief period of time. So been there. I know how hard that shit can be. But up there, it's like insane. You'd be like hard pressed to find like a mean person in that area. It was unusual as someone who's been to New York City a billion times and was expecting people to just like shove you out of the way if they needed to.
Right.
And then going down to Florida, it was like really nice down there. We went to Disney. People were like really polite for the most part. Everybody just kind of seems like they're in a hurry because they're in their own little world at Disney. But they took me to Chick-fil-A one night when I was really drunk, and I thought I was like on a prank show. Like it felt unreal.
You never been to Chick-fil-A before?
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever been to a Chick-fil-A, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is insane.
Oh, yeah, Chick-fil-A is the nicest, you know, fast food restaurant ever.
Yeah,
everybody there is nice.
It didn't feel like bullshit. Like, it didn't feel like, oh, these people are just getting paid to be really polite, and, like, they get burnt out on this. And actually, I think that was the time they gave me a free meal, because it was like, yeah, this is actually the first time I've been to Chick-fil-A, and I don't even know what to get here. And he was like, you're going to get this, this, and this. And he's like, you have any allergies? And the manager like walked me through it and like gave me a combo meal for free. I was like, what the hell is going on right now?
Is this a cult? What are you trying to do to me?
Yeah, I'm going to walk out the door and get stabbed, aren't I?
The chicken's people. The chicken's people.
Like, constantly paranoid of the world around me. You guys are too nice. What's the deal here?
No, sir, it's just chicken we fry in peanut oil.
We had a hobo in hobo is just a great word, I guess.
Yeah.
A guy come up to us who was clearly homeless in Montreal who told us a bunch of hilarious jokes, and my girlfriend can always remember them. I can't for some reason. But he told like a series of like 3 or 4 jokes, and he's like, I'll tell you jokes in a series. It was like a mystical like character you'd stumble across in a fantasy story. This guy came up with broken glasses and they were like taped together in the middle. It looked like a homeless like Buddy Holly with like really long hair. And
I survived the crash. Don't tell nobody.
Right? Me. And he was like really nice guy, asked me for a cigarette. I gave him a cigarette, smoked one with him, and then gave him another one to put behind his ear. We're like hanging out outside at this bar. I got all these Canadian people inside the bar kind of looking at me weird that I'm just sort of like talking to a homeless guy on the patio. And the dude told us like a series of 3 jokes, and he's like, I'll tell them in order, and if I make you laugh all 3 times, you got to give me another cigarette. And that's why he got the other one behind the ear, was he made me laugh all 3 times. But I can never remember any of the jokes, and they were fucking hysterical. And he took the cigarette from me and walked across the street, was like, hell yeah, dude, got a cigarette. And he was talking to his dog. There's a church across the street, and he walked over and celebrated with his dog that he got a cigarette from me.
And then he like disappeared into the distance.
Well, they have, I don't know if it's all across Canada, but in Montreal, the churches will let homeless people, I think it's after like 6 p.m., show up and just like camp out on the lawn. And I guess in the wintertime, they let them like come inside and sleep in the building, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, that's why they loiter around outside the front gates around like 5-6 o'clock. And like we were already at the bar getting hammered early that day because we were only up in Montreal for like 4 days, and they were like, you got to get wrecked at this Irish pub that's up there. And I was like the only Irish guy in there. If you're ever in Canada, there's a beer you can only get up there. Yeah, right. It was like the dog's like, now give me that cigarette. Light it for me, idiot.
The dog's like, good boy, now give it.
Right? It's laying on a mound of cigarettes. Beth just sent me a silver dime that somebody die stamped fuck into the top of.
Nice.
The cool shit we find at work.
Everybody's talking Chick-fil-A now. What's your favorite fast food place?
Fast food place? Oh, I'm a garbage person. Can you guess?
If you're a garbage person, Wendy's?
How dare you say that about Wendy's?
Wendy's is garbage.
Wendy's isn't garbage.
Wendy's is soggy fries and like.
I will give you that their fries have completely fallen apart. Maybe you're just going to the wrong.
Literally,
Wendy's.
They fall apart as soon as you pick them up.
Up here, Wendy's has the like best fast food burger you will get like in the area, or go to like a White Castle and get the sloppiest thing in the world and just enjoy it because you're drunk as fuck. My favorite though, because I'm an absolute garbage person, is Taco Bell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I consider that garbage though.
I'm like Malin.
It's like the number one spot.
No, I could drop like $40 on Taco Bell, bombed out of my mind, and eat like all of it.
We used to have a place in my hometown called El Taco, and you could get like literally enough food for 4 people for like $20.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing with Taco Bell. That's I think what reeled me in young was like I was out living on my own from 18 and was just like, this garbage is so inexpensive.
I used to get taco burgers, El Taco. They're my favorite thing ever.
Whataburger is like on the list to try when I get out there, GJ. I haven't been out west since I was like a fetus. Evidently, when I was really young, they let me try fast food while we were still on the West Coast. and it was like when we visited again. I was like a year or two old. We went out to see my grandparents, and they got Jack in the Box, and I went ape shit, I guess, for a taco. I have no clue what that food tastes like, and I always hear from people that it sucks and that you should just go to Del Taco if you're gonna get tacos out there. But yeah, see, Ryan just said Del Taco.
We got a Whataburger down here in Tallahassee. It was the first time I ever had it. It was okay. It wasn't anything great.
What was it? Shake Shack down there?
Shake Shack's good. Steak and Shake I like way better though.
I haven't had that one, but I heard that too. And then Jimmy John's was another one that I tried down in Florida for the first time. Because I'm a simple dude like that. Like if you're like, yo, there's a sandwich place or like a taco place nearby and I haven't tried it before, I'm just like, yeah, like immediately. It's something about sandwiches or tacos. If you're like, if you had to eat one thing for the rest of your life, it'd probably be tacos. But I'm like, sandwiches and tacos, I'm the simplest human being in the world. And throw pizza in there too, but like.
I hate Jimmy John's. I think their food is like super plain.
It feels like it's supposed to be like sloppy, like delicious sandwiches, but it comes across like Panera, like it was very much like designed by like a team of people.
Yep.
Like the sandwiches, everything came like tasted really processed too.
Yep.
Then I had, it's called Earl of Sandwich. Now that is at like, I think it's what is it? Fucking Downtown Disney or whatever, the part that's like not actually in a Disney park.
Oh yeah, I know come out.
I'm pretty sure Earl of Sandwich is down in there.
There's like a Rainforest Cafe down there too.
Yeah, and it's where like what was it, Pleasure Island or whatever it used to be.
Yeah,
still have all the shit there, and it's hilarious.
The most suggestive name ever.
Yeah, dude, I was like, that is the wildest gay bar advertising ever, and Beth was like, no, that was like a Disney thing. It's like,
yeah, I'm like, is it a swinger joint?
Yeah, it was like not gay at all. Like, yeah, it's like it comes across like it's like a super bumping gay bar or like a place where you go to cheat on your spouse. I was like, this is just weird, and it's like all the neons and everything from it are still there. Like it closed more than like a decade ago, I think Beth had told me at the time. And it's like it's all still like up, and it's like way high up, set behind everything, so you can just see it no matter where you're standing.
They used to have. I saw a whole documentary about it. There was a Sega Genesis like arcade world that closed down like 15 years ago or something.
They still have at Downtown Disney. It's the arcade. I don't know what the hell it's called now, but it's 4 stories.
Yeah, but it's different than what it used to be.
Yeah, it's not like Sega sponsored, but there's still tons of games in it, and that's actually where they initially released the Wreck-It Ralph game.
Oh, really?
I was like it had at the time, it had like a counter thing that told you like how many games had been played on it already, and I was like in the first like couple million, I think. It was like, god damn, this thing's been played a lot, and it had only been there for like a couple of weeks. When we went, that was like when the first Wreck-It Ralph came out, and it was one cabinet. Like I was like, oh shit, like they really made this thing. Like that's cool as hell. Yeah, it was on it was like on the 4th floor of the arcade. That place made me so uncomfortable though, because I'm like a nutcase. Like anytime I go into a place, I'm like, know your way out of here. Like this thing could burst into flames. Something crazy could happen.
Right there.
It's like neon lights, and you know that like weird ass carpet at like black light, like laser tag places and stuff, where it just has like paint splatter and shit all over the walls that like reacts to like black lights, and everything was just like sensory overload and disorienting. I was like, something goes wrong in here, I'm fucking dead. Like I don't know how to get out of here. It's the worst designed Disney place I've ever been to.
Can I tell a short story real quick?
No. Yeah, of course.
So when I was 12, I got a paper cut in my eye. I had a friend. He was making them.
Dude. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Short story done. Oh my.
Actually, honestly,
I'm clutching my eyes right now. Don't stop. All right. Just tell your story. Holy shit! That I didn't expect to react so much to that. That was.
You know what paper wasps are?
Dude, done. You don't need to elaborate. Just keep going. Oh my god!
All right, I'll skip this paper wasp part.
Yeah.
So I got a cut in my eye, and I had to wear an eye patch, and it was like the Band-Aid brand eye patch, not even a cool one. It's just literally a Band-Aid on your eye.
Yeah.
And that night, my friend was having a birthday party at a laser tag place. And when they look at your eye, when you get a cut, they got to put this dye in it that glows under black light so they can see the cut.
Yeah.
So I had this shit in my eye, and we went to this laser tag place, and I have no depth perception because I'm fucking blind. And we're in there, and what sucked about this place too is that the good laser tag places let you team up. It was like one team versus another team. This place, it was every man for himself, which I hated. So, you weren't allowed to go around with anybody. And this one little kid, I didn't know him. He wasn't in our group or anything. He kept following me and just shooting me in the back. And the whole, I'm 12 years old, so I'm like, he's maybe 10 or 9. And he kept following me, and the referee started yelling at me, like thinking we were teaming up. I'm like, I'm not teaming up with him. He won't stop following me. And eventually, when we got around a corner, I said, fuck it. And so I remembered that I had the stuff in my eye. So I pulled the Band-Aid off my eye. I turned, I pushed him against the wall, and then I opened my eye, and all he saw was this glowing Terminator eye. And I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. And he just ran all the way out the building.
There's a demon. I'm still, like, as you're telling that story, I'm, like, rubbing my eyes as if I just woke up. Holy shit, dude. That was a worse reaction than, like, anything I've watched in a long time. Like, you were like, paper cut on the eye, and I was just like, God! Like, somebody ran in the room and sliced my eyes with a sheet of paper.
I've had, like, 3 eye injuries, and my eyes are still 15.
Beth asked me about that. I can't remember what horror movie we were watching, but she was like, you think you could get a paper cut on the eye? And it like made me cringe like crazy. And you just answered that question, and it still made me cringe unbelievably.
7 years old, 12 years old, and I was like 14 years old. But that wasn't a paper cut the last time. It was a hockey stick.
Oh man, I consider you a great friend, but I also hate you for that now. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I had to live through it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I guess that was a question I never needed answered. Like, I threw that out into the universe, and you brought it back to me. The same thing happened to my daughter when she was a baby. She scratched her eye, took her to the hospital, and they put some kind of... Yeah, it's like a thing so they can see the depth of it and know what's actually affected. I know all about that. I dated a nurse years ago. So I know about a bunch of weird shit like that, but that sucks, dude. Oh my God.
It did look sweet though. Like I looked in the mirror, I was like, oh, I look awesome. But now we're goggles everywhere I go.
Oh my God. I'm just going to wear like goggles for the rest of my life.
What's up, Ashen?
What's up, dude?
Let me recount the story of my eye again.
No.
In graphic detail.
It makes me think of fucking, what's it, Fulci's Zombie, where the chick gets pulled into a splinter.
Yeah.
It's funny too. I got into a horrible accident. I've destroyed my hands. I had like little nicks on my face and stuff. So I always tell Beth I'm gonna be like a Charles Bronson old man. Like eventually my body's gonna start to wrinkle and it's gonna catch on all these weird scars all over me. And I'm just gonna look like a bunch of plastic bags stapled together.
Have you seen those movies with the Charles Bronson lookalike?
The knockoff. I never remember his name. I just call him Bronson too.
Oh,
I haven't seen any of them yet, but I need to. And he's like fucking like yacked Charles Bronson, like.
And it's always a voiceover because he can't speak English.
Oh yeah, he's like, isn't he like South American or like Italian or something like that?
Yeah, he's something totally different because I think Bronson was like Polish, and this guy is like something on the total opposite side of the world.
But Bronson, from what I gathered, like spent most of his life over here. This guy, they literally were like, holy shit, you're Charles Bronson. And if I remember correctly, he was like working like day labor somewhere. That's why I was like, he might be South American, but I thought for some reason he was like Italian or something.
They're like, Charles Bronson. He's like, okay.
Oh, the fire poker through the eye. And I haven't watched House by the Cemetery since I was like 12 years old. I think that might be on one of the streaming services, but I actually didn't put that on my list. I kind of was just like anything.
That was another
Fulci
Italian
or Argento.
Yeah.
I think Argento produced The Church, and The Church just keeps coming up like crazy, and I've never seen it. There's a lot of like trippy ass visuals and stuff in it.
I was just telling you that last night. I've never seen it, but I've always wanted to.
It's got this really gnarly ending scene that I always saw shots from that I thought Hannibal was kind of influenced by. If you watched Hannibal, the giant like floral totem that's made, I think it's like season 2.
Mm-hmm.
There's like this ending in the church where I guess they build like this giant statue out of like corpses covered in mud, and it's fucking gnarly looking, and it kind of looks similar to the totem in what's it called in Hannibal. But I used to see that all the time when I was a little kid. It was like a lobby card. Like, you know, back when the lobby cards, it wasn't like a movie poster. They just grab a still from the movie that was like really fucking gnarly, and it had all the credits and everything next to it. That was actually, I thought that would be kind of cool to do for City of Rot, maybe for stretch goals, is do little like lobby card prints of like cool key scenes and shit like that. But I don't know if people are into that kind of stuff like I am. I'm a weirdo.
Ashton typed hit a like button fuckers, and all I could think of in my head was just processing, what the button fucker? I'm like, oh yeah, duh. my brain went retarded for like half a second.
Yeah, man. My girlfriend's the same way with like anything to do with her eyes and face. Like, I can barely touch her face. She's like, no, like like fucking one of the cats like scratched her one time, and she was like horrified. Like, got her in the face, and she's like, I'm gonna be a mutant now. Like, not really, it's just a cat scratch.
Doesn't the church also have that let me look them up.
It's got like name. A demon humping scene.
No, I was thinking about the actor in that movie.
Oh, I don't know, because it's an older movie, and it's I'm pretty sure Argento produced it, and it had a lady director, if I remember correctly. That's why I was like, it looked very much like an Italian horror film, especially when I saw the clip of like a goat demon banging like a lady in like a mausoleum or something. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely Italian.
Tomas Arana is in that movie. He was like the bad guy in all the 90s movies. He had that kind of like lazy eye.
Oh, I gotta look this up.
That's what I was thinking of. Whatever happened to him? I haven't seen nothing.
What was it? 89 that it came out? Yeah.
Something 89. Like that. Oh, he's still making movies, but I haven't seen none of these. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Is it the guy I'm thinking of? Let me see this. Oh, okay, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking of, what the fuck's his name?
He's in The Bodyguard and shit.
I was thinking, oh my god, I gotta look it up now. I think he's in one of the Maniac Cop movies. Fucking weird scarred up dude from the Goonies.
Scarred up dude from? Oh,
one
I know
of the Fratellis.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
I can't fucking think of
that Die Hard
name now. Robert Davi. Jesus.
Yeah. He's still around. He's still kicking.
Yeah. I can't believe, too, what was it I was looking at the other day? Was it you that actually told me this? The dude who played Sloth was in, like, horror movies or something, I think?
Maybe.
I thought he was in something.
He was a football player.
Yeah.
He had a horrible drug addiction. And they said he used to go to gay bars and try and start fights. Like, just randomly. That was his like pastime, was to go into a gay bar, just yell out gay slurs and try and start a fight, and then he would laugh and leave.
Wouldn't it be crazy too if it was like, okay, no, it wasn't him, it was somebody else, I'm just blurring together, but wouldn't it be crazy too if it wasn't even like a I like beating up gay guys hate crime angle? It was just like, gay guys know how to brawl better. It's like looking for a challenge.
These guys can scrap.
Yeah, these guys just fucking throw down. Oh, that was the gayest fight. Dude, you can't say that. No, dude, if you were in a gay fight, you'd know what I mean.
That's a compliment, brother.
Yeah, it's an ass whooping.
He's watching like Tyson fights, like, oh, this is a gay ass fight. Like, dude, he just brutalized that guy. Yeah,
I love The Void. That was another started as a low budget one and exploded due to crowdfunding. And I think it was the people who did The Witch picked it up, or The Vitch.
The Vitch.
Baskin I watched, but that was so weird to me. Early on, I was like, Voidwalker is gonna be weird. I want it to be really strange and leave more questions than answers. Baskin is like a whole different level than that. Like, take that idea and that framework and then ramp it up to like 1 billion. Like, I watched that entire movie and I still feel like I have no clue what was going on in that. And there's that
Turkish,
weird,
right?
What?
It's Turkish, right?
Yeah, it's definitely foreign. I thought it was like an Indian film the first time I watched it, but I think you're right. What's up, Institute? It had like this. He has like weird ears or something. This like little bald guy. And I remember just being thoroughly disturbed by that dude, and everything just being strange and uncomfortable. And the whole time, my girlfriend was watching it with me. She was asking questions, so I couldn't follow anything. I should probably rewatch that by myself sometime because it was really strange.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. But wasn't it basically like they went to hell? And
yeah, it feels
it's not hell like Hellraiser style hell. It's more of like a real world with just weirdness.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like I don't think it's so much supposed to be taken literally, but I was just like so bombarded by weirdness from the get-go. I didn't even try to understand that. I was like, okay, more weird stuff, like more weird stuff. There was a really good foreign one that was kind of not the same vibe. They don't go to hell or anything, but it was kind of like same thing, just like a lot of weird shit happening early on, and then the final act was kind of cool. It wasn't anything special. I want to say it was called Terrifier.
Isn't that the clown one?
No. If that's it, then that's not the one I'm thinking of. It was like a Spanish movie.
Okay.
It was weird. Fuck, dude. I thought it was called Terrifier. Yeah, Terrifier is that clown one. It might still be on Shudder. It's strange. It like took place in an apartment complex. Almost had like a rec vibe to it. REC. But it was like this weird apartment complex, and like a crack starts opening up in the wall, and Terrified.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's evidently a Shudder original. Yeah, so not Terrifier, but Terrified. I don't want to like elaborate too much more now, but it's like this weird like fissure is opening up in this like apartment complex, which is sort of where the like REC vibes come in, but it's like driving people mad and people are like hallucinating and seeing weird shit. But it's really, really weird, and I liked the ending to it just for like the monster effects. I think a lot of it ended up being like CGI and post stuff, but it had some cool ideas, and it was like some really, really tense moments and stuff if you can get through a foreign film, because I'm pretty sure it's in Spanish if I'm remembering correctly. There might be dubs, but I don't know. Oh man, GJ, Shudder is like I've had it for I think like 2 years now, and I've sold so many people on it. I'm like, I need to figure out how to like become like a fucking partner with them or something. Like give me a fucking promo code, because then I could actually track how many people I've been bringing into this shit.
Isn't there another one too?
Like all my friends in town have it. There was. I know Crackle was trying to sort of focus on that early on with a lot of their original content and stuff. I don't know if there's like another official one that's just horror, but Shudder is like well done. Some of the people running it are kind of political. If you're like trying to avoid that kind of stuff, don't follow them on social media or anything, but they're not like forcing it down your throat on the app or anything like that. They're like involved with Fangoria, and I think AMC owns a stake in them or something too. I don't know how the ownership breaks down on Shudder, but they get a lot of fucking stuff, like, and they properly license stuff. So when you see indie stuff on there, the people who made the movie and own it like are actually getting paid for it, which I think is really cool. And then, you know, like the subscription fee alone is worth the Last Drive-In stuff with Joe Bob Briggs. They actually have another special with him coming up, I think mid-October for Halloween. I don't know what they're doing for movies yet, but they just did one like a couple of weeks ago during the COVID stuff to like get people amped up. Yeah, see, Randy's got it.
What up, Casey? You misspelled Boo Earns.
Yeah, him and Darcy on there are fucking awesome. I actually put one of the movies that's on there on the list just because it was like hilarious. I wasn't sure if you had seen it yet, and it's this little like anthology movie called Scare Package. So it's like we could watch that one. I just wanted to get the list going, and I was like, we can whittle it down to like a list in order, and we can start doing like one a week or something.
I would, but you skipped my my joke from The Simpsons about Boo Earns. No,
oh, geez, I'm sorry.
Not in the mood. No, it's
no,
cool.
Not in the mood. I'm zoning out and reading. Oh shit, Casey's in here too. What's up, Casey?
Yeah, that was my joke is over because he said Boo and I said Boo Earns, but nobody cares about what Geoff has to say.
Yeah, that's why it clicks now. The one comment I didn't see. Yeah, the new Chucky movie was weird because it like, what's her name? Is it Aubrey or Audrey Plaza? Aubrey. Yeah, I always fuck that up. Aubrey Plaza. The performances weren't terrible in that, but it was just like by the end of it, and I mean even in the trailer before that came out, when they announced they were doing a reboot, I was like, this is like one of these movies where like it didn't need to get made.
Yeah, I like her a lot, but when I saw that she was going to be in it, I was like, I can't even watch it with her. Just, what's the point?
Like even the kid they got to play, what's his name, Andy, right? That's the kid they got for that. He's a little bit older and everything, but like they did a good job. The changing up the dynamic was smarter and everything. Like they tried to do something different, and it was still just like the whole movie felt like filler. Like, and even the final act is like super over the top, but like it still was just like, oh, this didn't need to get made. Like I couldn't imagine that budget. I don't even know what they spent on that movie, but you could have made a cool new original horror movie for the money you put into that movie and spent on getting Mark Hamill to do the voice.
Yeah.
Like that was for like the Comic-Con promo. That's what that felt like.
Yeah. And like, you know, the whole thing with Chucky is that it is like so over the top and crazy with voodoo and, you know, the sequels with like the doll sex and having babies and all that shit. That's what makes it fun.
So damn. Sorry, Casey just backed us. Thanks, dude.
Wow.
You just put us up to 35% officially, 2640 and 43 backers. Hell yeah.
Hey, he did mean Boo Earns.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's right. I don't know what I'm saying anyways. No, but yeah, that movie, like the Child's Play movies are so weird. That's what's so great about them. You know, like each sequel just keeps going because the same guy made all of them, which I didn't realize until the end of it.
Is that Holland? Is it Tom Holland that did those?
No, that's
not Tom Holland. Jesus, yeah,
Spider-Man.
Jesus, what the?
Not my Spider-Man.
Yeah, right. I think it's something Holland.
But the new movie is just basically, he's just a doll that has a.
No, his name is Tom Holland. That's insane.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was like I know it's with a T, and yeah, from Don. That was the other thing that was throwing me off. Don Mancini or Cini. I'm not sure how he does it.
Yeah.
he was the writer, and I think Don's actually gay or came out post that. I might be wrong about that, but I think
so he's
he
a
was
good fighter.
Yeah, so he's a fucking watch out, dude. He'll punch your tooth loose.
You guys wouldn't believe this. One time, the guy from Goonies came in and tried to fight me.
He's got giant gay fists.
They have double uses.
The guy from Goonies beat my dad's asses. Both dads. That's how they met, actually. They were getting beat up by the dude who played Sloth in Goonies. And then they adopted me.
You
craziest story ever. It's a horror movie, but the dude who played Sloth in Goonies comes in and kills everybody in a gay bar. Too soon. Oh, yeah. I forgot we even did that. Indiegogo like made me on like a couple of them like put the like retail price in, and then it was like it didn't anymore. I didn't know what the hell was going on with that. That was the first time I experienced that, but this is the only place you can get the book as of right now. I don't want to deal with the outside world anymore. So that's the big thing. If it goes to retail, it'll be way later on. It'll be directly through here and then maybe a new cover on the website when we get the imprint up and going, but we're still figuring out format and things like that and how we're going to launch. Because I kind of think it'd be cool to just be like, get a bunch of books done and then be like, hey, we got books out like TKO and just do very small prints of them.
How was Mark Hamill as Chucky?
That's the whole thing is like you could have made this like a Funny or Die short or something.
Thank you, Ryan. I was hoping somebody would hear that.
Hey, you gays. How do I keep missing these?
I said, hey, you gays.
Oh my God, somebody throw him a Baby Ruth or he's going to kick the shit out of us again. It's the fucking derpy Superman's back.
That's why he was locked up. His family is actually working for GLAAD, and they just wanted to keep him away from the gays.
Yeah, really besmirching our image. We were supposed to talk about horror movies today, and this is really the sloth gay bashing hour, I guess. That is just a wild story. Like, just when you thought you've heard everything, the guy who played Sloth was a raging alcoholic and used to crash gay bars to beat up gays. That's just you can't write that kind of stuff.
But we'll try.
Yeah, right. And that's the next book.
It's actually the conclusion of City of Rot.
Yeah.
Just randomly.
Hank meets another dude like Hank, a big gay-hating Hank. Based on Sloth from the Goonies.
Anti-Hank.
What a twist. Anti-Hank. Yeah, we're going to pull the old Marvel switcheroo, and Hank's got a clone.
Yeah, it's Khan. That's his clone.
He's got a big gray mullet. All his shirts are open. He's always exposing too much chest for such an old man. That's all I know about Khan. Or he's Benedict Cumberbatch or Bun. Genuinely.
Terrible.
Is it Botch?
Cumberbatch.
Okay. I genuinely don't know because he's been like memed so many times that I've only seen like the Marvel movies with him in it.
Well, he comes batches. So Cumberbatch.
Batches. Oh, another batch. Here it comes. Oh, he's got that tight upper lip. Oh,
he really does. He has no lips.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. Old bird lips Cumberbatch. You're definitely something strange, Doctor.
And he's like, my name is Khan Noonien Singh. It's like, you're a white dude.
You're still here. Any horror flick by Fulci is golden. Yeah, for the music alone and just the weirdness. Like, it's also like any one of his movies is like Jesus, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's like a crash course on you getting the most of your money out of a fog machine. Yeah, like the zombie movies, which I think now you can just look up as like Zombie 1, 2, and 3. They're easier to find if you look them up as ZOMBI, usually.
Yeah.
Not like the actual spelling of zombie. Because like one of them was considered like over there like the sequel to Night of the Living Dead and a bunch of other shit, so it gets confusing. But like Zombie, the original with just an eye on the end, has the the real shark fake zombie fight that inspired the band Real Zombie Fake Shark. City of Rot final chapter, gay bar brawl. There's gonna be a heartache tonight. A heartache tonight. I know. And by that I mean Sloth's gonna beat up a bunch of gay dudes when they thought he was just a new bear in town.
That's what my everyday carry always involves, Baby Ruth.
Got a candy bar taped to the side of it. Yeah, so we need to figure out a first movie to do. That was the point of this from the get-go. We're an hour in, which is totally cool. Like, I could do this all day, but I didn't know
your list.
Yeah, I got the original My Bloody Valentine was the first thing to pop up, and I know that keeps coming up a bunch because he had the regular dude name that none of us could remember at first. What is it? Harry Warden or whatever.
That's his name?
Yeah. It's just they like mention it like throughout.
Man, really doesn't compare to like Jason Voorhees, you know?
Yeah. This guy,
Bill Guy?
I mean, he's like a dude killing people in a mine shaft, so.
Ted Person?
We're going to review this movie before watching it. That's our channel. We just review movies we watched like 15 years ago that we kind of remember in a haze. Just like when we were talking about the Berenstain Bears the other day. Guess what? You were right. It's the Berenstain Bears, and I'm just continuously misremembering it. Not Steens. They're not Jewish. It's Stains. They're just dirty people. Dirty bear people. Yeah, the cover for that one, that's just the close-up on, like, the maggot zombie, right?
Yeah, isn't it like
it literally looks like they just, like...
that famous zombie face.
Yeah. See, Ashen right there. I'm a big collector of Ebon Press. We've been talking about that. That's sort of the vibe we're going to be going for, but not so much license stuff. I dig that they do that. There's totally a place for it. I'm just I'm not that guy. I want to churn out my own schlock. Just weird shit. I'm trying to rewatch Sinister, but it's time. I actually just watched that a couple of weeks ago for the first time.
It's okay.
I couldn't get into any of those movies for the longest time, and I was like, I guess I'll just watch them all like back to back. But now 23? I also blur those all together, like that and Insidious and all of those. Like whenever somebody brings them up now, I can't remember which one is which.
Yeah.
Like is Sinister the Ethan Hawke one?
Yeah, it is. That's the one with like the death metal villain.
Yeah,
see, black metal villain.
Oh yeah, Bagul or whatever. Is that the same one?
Yep.
Okay. So other than the dumb demon name, a decent movie with great performances. Sinister I thought was really cool, and there's some genuinely like gnarly scenes. And especially the like 8mm ones. Yeah, I think I watched the sequel right after and was just like, well, that burnt out really quick.
Yep. Does Randy mean Session 9? I don't know what Session 23 is.
I was going to say, I've heard of Session 9, but it was like Session 9's the Caruso one, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Miami CSI guy?
Yep.
Session 23. Let's look it up.
Session 9
I feel like I've heard of that and maybe just confused it with Session 9.
Session 9 is a really good movie.
Is that the one there's like a newer Carpenter film that I always confuse with Session 9, I think. The hell was it called? I haven't seen that one yet either. I don't know if it sucked or not. Oh man, I need to put Assault on Precinct 13 on the list.
I don't think I've ever watched that all the way through.
Oh man. Where the hell is it? Director. The Ward. That's what it's called.
Oh, the John Carpenter movie?
Yeah.
Like his last one? Yeah, that was not very good. I was very saddened by that.
Okay, it was bad.
Yeah.
It's like, I confuse that one with Session 9 all the time, and I have no clue what it's about. And evidently Amber Heard is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check that one out.
It just doesn't feel at all like a John Carpenter film. You know, it's like something he must have just got for a paycheck.
Yeah.
But apparently he's going to come back and do another movie.
I somehow haven't seen or even heard of As the Gods Will, and I like Takashi Miike. Watch the trailer now with no audio, even for a few seconds. Trust me. I think it's 20.
I liked the first Conjuring.
I think it's 23. It's the one with all the tapes and different personalities.
I did not like the sequel to The Conjuring.
And that's the one about the Warrens, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the same thing. The Conjuring had some cool ideas, and then the second one is just beating a dead horse like Sinister.
Well, the second one was so stupid because they do the based on a true story thing, but it's like, okay, so a house blew up and everybody in the whole town saw it, including police officers, but nobody talked about it to this degree.
It never made the paper or anything.
Like in real life, it was just like a chair moved. But in the movie,
well, that's the whole thing.
Kind of strange battle.
I met the Warrens in high school. I told you I went to school with their grandkids, some of them, TJ and Gunther, and fucking they came in. I want to say it was my sophomore or junior year of high school. Towards the end of the year, TJ did his senior study. I think it was my junior year because he was only a grade above me. And he lived in my neighborhood. That's how I knew him. And he did his senior study, and they did this thing for underclassmen where senior studies did a presentation towards the end of the year, like the last 2 months of school. Every day, 2 seniors would do a presentation, and you could basically sign up and check out of whatever class you were in to go watch their presentation. And it was sort of like students teaching students. Mm-hmm. You got a little lecture from a student that they had to write up as their senior project. And it was on whatever topic they picked. And TJ was like, I want to be a paranormal investigator like my grandparents were. And, when your grandparents are the Warrens, you can kind of fucking shoe in on that. Then he ended up going into the fucking Marines and giving all of that up. So I don't know what the fuck happened. But he did his whole independent study on them and brought shit in and stuff. And he was like, I tried to bring Annabelle, but they wouldn't let me take it. And I think it was... what's her name? Elizabeth, the wife?
No idea. But I know
Ed and Elizabeth, I think, are their names. One of them came, the one that didn't die first, and I don't remember. That's how unimportant and unexciting it was. And they were just old as shit and rambling about stuff, and it all came across as bullshit the entire time to a junior in high school who was more worried about getting high and passing school. I was like, oh man, I thought this was gonna be a cool get out of class, and it's we're listening to nonsense. It's very much how all the ghost hunting TV shows are now. So it's exactly like you said, in reality, a chair probably moved, and this family was we didn't realize we had a draft in our kitchen.
All right.
It's insane. But it's the whole thing just felt really gimmicky. And if TJ told me years later, oh yeah, I just hired an old ass lady to act and play that role, that wasn't my grandparents, I'd be I get it now, because it was the corniest shit ever. But he had family photos of them and stuff. And then when the movies came out, I was like, oh yeah, it's the same people. But it's really fucking weird. And when you know their family and know they're just regular ass people, and it's really just kind of corny, and even the family thought it was kind of corny. You're even your family didn't buy the bullshit. How are you finding all these broke people who had money to pay you to fight ghosts?
And they were everywhere too. Like they were in Amityville, and
that's the one thing is they legitimately got around and did this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the one thing I can say, and it's like all documented, but it's like documented with next to no tangible proof of anything other than like we keep going to places and stealing items from people and telling them they're spooky. It's like, I really like your hot tub. There's a demon in it. Like, there's my breakout comedy. It's just a bunch of grifter dudes who hunt ghosts, but they're actually just grifting people for their shit.
Dude, that should have been the Ghostbusters sequel.
Yeah, right?
That'd be great.
Oh my god, man. Like that's really what it comes across like. Like they were like, hey, we're having a daughter soon. Like, we should really get this Raggedy Ann doll from these people because we can't afford it. We live out of our RV and travel around the country telling people ghosts are real.
They just go into a Walmart. Oh, this Cabbage Patch doll is haunted. Ooh.
Which, believe what you want, I've seen some spooky shit too. I've done all that stuff. Like, we actually, right out of high school, I don't know who has the footage now, but I'll probably die of cancer in my 40s from breaking into Knight's Hospital at UConn campus, which if you look up is like an actual mental institution where they abused the shit out of people and did all this horrible stuff. And the place was filled with asbestos and lead paint and all this. So a bunch of people got like really sick over time living in it and stuff. And now if you go in it, there's like, you can't tell if it's bloody handprints or what, but there's like gross, dirty handprints all over the place. There's like old fucking wheelchairs that like they'd strap your head and neck into that had like bolts in them so you couldn't turn your head and stuff. Like all this crazy torture shit. And I think it's from like the 40s or 50s. It wasn't even like that old in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. But we broke in there, dude. Pry barred open the 3-inch steel front door of the building. And went in there and walked through the whole place. And that place was creepy as shit. And we still didn't have any friends thrown into walls or dragged into other rooms or anything. We were just like, we're probably going to die in a couple years from this. But like I've gone around and I've experienced weird shit. Like when we were in there, the ceiling just started collapsing in a room and there wasn't like any wind. There was nothing to disturb it. It was just like, I guess it's just the time for this ceiling to finally give in. And that was like one of the things that made everybody I was with essentially shit their pants. But yeah, I'm like, maybe there is spooky shit out there. Maybe there are ghosts. Believe what you want. I'm not going to shit on anybody's beliefs of anything. But the Warrens are a hilarious case study in all of that because I'm skeptical of a lot. I'm skeptic of a lot of things, and it's that I got an early impression was just silly nonsense, and they were just like super into like the smell of their own farts, essentially. Yeah, Casey, Hereditary's gross. We actually talked about that on a previous stream and how uncomfortable that made me. Okay, he was thinking of Session 9. Yeah, that's a good one. I just haven't seen it in a long time.
I rewatched it not too long ago, and it still holds up.
Like, I remembered it being so good, which is why I confuse it with that Carpenter movie all the time. And I'm like, is that the Carpenter one? Or is that the one is that the one I haven't seen? And I think it's a Carpenter movie because it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
8 Films to Die For.
I remember those. Yeah.
I remember seeing some of them. Like, they had that, was it? What was that soccer movie when we were kids?
Ladybugs?
No, with the
Big
fat
Green?
ginger kid, Big Green. Fat ginger kid was like the goalie, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember that kid's name. I'm pretty sure he grew up and he was one of the killers in one of those 8 Films to Die For.
And he looks exactly the same today.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was... Is it The Hills Run Red? Is that what it's called? I think it had like a porcelain baby doll face or something.
Oh, Lake Mungo was a part of that? Lake Mungo was great.
I actually haven't seen that yet, but
it's a really good creepy movie.
Yeah, a bunch of people told me that. There's a really good found footage film too. I don't know if it's a part of that 8 Films to Die For, but I feel like it's kind of from the same time period.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Bay, I believe. Yeah, I think it's The Bay, and it's like it's not Hills Run Red is the one I'm thinking of, but I think that is 8 Films to Die For. That's another good one. It's like a weird porcelain baby doll mask. Yeah, The Bay is like, and I don't really like found footage stuff. The Bay ended up being really gnarly.
Okay. The first set had The Abandoned, Dark Ride, The Grave Dancers. I saw that one.
I think Dark Ride is the one I'm thinking of now. I'm looking up The Big Green right now to find that kid's damn name again, but I'm pretty sure it's Dark Ride.
The Hamiltons, Penny Dreadful, Reincarnation, Unrest. I saw that one.
Patrick Renna. Yeah, Dark Ride. And he was in Sandlot and a bunch of other shit when we were kids.
10 years after he brutally murdered 2 girls, a killer escaped from a mental institution and returns to his turf, the theme park attraction called Dark Ride, where he targets a group of 6 college kids on their way to spring break.
I don't remember it being like crazy good. Like all those movies were kind of just like, here's a decent concept and we'll throw a budget at it and we'll get some people you kind of recognize.
It was a pretty genius like marketing strategy because it probably was just films they already had that,
Oh yeah,
well
and they
alone.
did the little festival where it's like you come see all of them, and I think that's what really made it blow up. And then they made them into DVDs, the After Dark Fest.
My cat's knocking shit over.
Yeah, Dark Ride, I remember being like decent, and that was the one that had that kid in it. That's why I confuse it with The Hills Run Red, though, as it has like a porcelain baby doll killer face in it.
That's a trope right there. There's a ton of movies with that same kind of image.
Yeah. It's like, guys, dolls are creepy.
Yeah, anytime I see that in a movie, I'm like, nope, skipping it.
Sanatorium. I'm not sure if I've seen that one. What is the movie where they go to like an Aztec temple and get cursed? Is that The Ruins?
Yeah, where it's like a weird, like,
it's like a vine monster. Yeah. If that's the one you're thinking of, Randy, I think it's The Ruins. I saw that like when it came out and was just like, this was nothing what I was expecting at all, and kind of
Yeah.
I remember there being a couple parts that were like, whoa, but
what I actually really liked that was I thought I would hate and would be really stupid? The Pyramid. Did you ever see that?
I don't know if I've seen that.
It came out a few years ago. It was a found footage movie, which didn't really need to be at all. But it was about these like archaeology students that get trapped in a pyramid. And it turns out, well, I don't want to give away if anybody watches it, but all kinds of crazy magical shit starts happening.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
It's not like a great movie or anything, but it was really enjoyable. And I love pyramid, ancient Egypt kind of stuff.
Autopsy. Which one was Autopsy?
Autopsy.
So it's like when I hear Autopsy, I always think of Autopsy of Jane Doe, which was fucking really good.
That's a really great movie. Oh, Frontiers was a part of.
Is Autopsy another? Yeah, I was gonna say, is Autopsy another one of the 8 Films to Die For? Because I think I did see that one.
Frontiers was okay.
Frontiers.
It was kind of like a Hellraiser inspired kind of film. Like the guy that directed it was gonna do the remake of Hellraiser, but I don't think that's happening anymore.
Oh yeah, Autopsy was really gross. I forgot all about this one. It has the weird Cholo character actor dude who I never knew his name, but he's like any movie where there's like Spanish gangsters, he's always in it. The bald dude with the goatee.
Oh, is he kind of like chubby?
No, he's the jacked, like lean one who his like face is even so lean that you can basically see like every detail of his skull.
What's the movie called?
Autopsy. It came out in 2008.
2008. Robert Patrick's in that.
Yeah.
Robert Lasardo. Yeah.
That's his name. Yeah, I always forget his name because he's just like a character actor, and he's either like in comedies where you're like, oh, he's the scary fucking gangbanger, and then you find out he's not scary. He's like quirky weirdo dude, and then like he's just in the background of like every crime movie ever.
Dude, there is like a dearth of really great character actor. Like just those background dudes like this guy.
Yeah.
You know, there's nobody like that anymore.
What was it? BoJack Horseman had like a whole running joke about that throughout like every season of that character actress. What the they literally call her like character actress. I think it's Kathy Bates or something like that. It's someone like that, but it's like that whole running joke is essentially a nod to that. Like how many people don't realize like character actors are like the best part of fucking Hollywood. Like those are the best. Like just get people in weird ass roles to have fun.
I rewatched the Thomas Jane Punisher film a couple days ago.
Yeah, I saw you talking about that.
Dude, I forgot how many good performances there are in that movie. Ben Foster's in it, and he has a really great performance where he's getting tortured. And the guy torturing him, Will Patton, who was I always think of from the Postman.
Oh, jeez.
That dude,
throwback.
He's fucking great in The Punisher. He's like got this
really that Kevin Costner movie, right?
Yeah. Where he finds a postman, a dead postman, and steals his clothes and starts delivering mail.
Mad Max, but he's delivering mail.
And that was a comic book. Did you know that?
That's insane. I did not know that.
But Will Patton, he had this really great like soft-spoken gangster thing going, where he wasn't just doing like, oh, I'm a crazy gangster. I'm Italian. Hey, you know, he was soft-spoken Southern gangster, and it was creepy as shit.
I think the only movie that ever like super worked for me, the like overdoing it gangsters, is the Paul Walker movie Running Scared.
I never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh man, it is such a weird little movie, and there's like nothing like it. But for some reason, I have always loved that movie.
I know what you're talking about. I was thinking of Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, Paul Walker. It was like
it's a retelling of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, and he meets all these like really weird characters throughout it.
Yeah, his kid, and the neighbor kid basically steal a gun, and the neighbor kid uses the gun to shoot his stepdad, who's like abusive, or his father, who's abusive.
Isn't there like a black light scene or something crazy, or a neon?
Yeah, there's a black light ice rink for a hockey team that one of the mobsters owns. That's the whole red ice scene. Yeah, but that movie is like equally corny and badass, and it's just this weird line that always clicked with me. And it's shot in such a strange, over the top way. Like the opening scene of the movie is like super early 2000s, like just trying to think of as like as many cool fucking shots you can jam together and swing the camera around all in like a 5-minute period.
Right, and all that like post Matrix thing.
Yeah,
like swordfish and shit.
Like watch that with like watch Running Scared and like Smoking Aces is like a double feature, and you'll have a great time.
Dude, I haven't thought about Running Scared in forever.
Like that movie, when it came out, I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go buy this on DVD because it's the exact kind of stupid I absolutely love.
That's the kind of movie I would have bought at Blockbuster in those like $5 bins.
Yep, exactly. And I'm like, every time I talk about it, people are like, I don't even remember that movie. I'm like, that's like all the shit I love. Like, here's a character actor that me and my mom called the Haitian because that's what he's called in TV show Heroes, but he's been in tons of movies. The Haitian.
The Haitian.
From Heroes. Right, I keep having to look everything up. Oh, I've seen this guy in stuff too, yeah. Man, I forgot, like, Heroes was, like, crazy good early on.
Oh, yeah, that first season was great.
Jimmy, Jean Lewis or Jean Louis? Right, if he's Haitian.
Jean
Louis.
I mean, they're gonna have that French, thing there because of the origins of the country, but I don't really know.
Yeah, my girlfriend's the French one. I'd have to ask her. I'm an idiot.
Oh, and the Punisher, it also had, he's just a background guy, but Hank Stone. If you look up him, you'll recognize him. I was like, oh my god, I haven't seen that guy in a movie in like 20 years. He used to be in everything.
Hank Stone?
Yeah. He's just one of those guys who's always a bad guy in the gang.
Oh, yeah. That's what I mean, though. Yeah, he's like the white guy version of that the Cholo dude we were just talking about.
Exactly. And there was also, do you remember the Asian dude from Die Hard who's like got the Hulk Hogan hair, where he's bald on top, he's got long hair?
Yep.
That guy used to be in everything.
He looks like a mystical villain out of place in the movie.
Yeah.
Um,
He always had my favorite moment in that movie where he gets the candy bar. As a kid, I used to always imagine doing that. Like, that's the coolest thing ever, just to grab under there and grab your candy bar.
That's like the new guy that I notice all the time in everything. He's been in like the John Wick movies. I'm pretty sure in the first one, he's the guy who gets his. I'm pretty sure it's him. The dude who gets his beard pulled down onto the table in the nightclub and gets shot in the side of the head.
Right.
The bald guy, but he's just like a bald guy with a beard, and his beard is normally pulled into like a braid or something, but he's in everything. And I think he was like an MMA guy who got injured or something and just started doing stunt work after that, I believe. It's like Ty something, but he's like friends with, I want to say like Ethan Suplee and a bunch of other big ass dudes like that. And a bunch of them all just are like background goons in movies now. But that one dude, the bald one, is in like fucking everything. And I think he owns part of like a stunt studio now because he's fucking in everything. I think he's even in the Avengers movies.
Al Leong is the guy from Die Hard and Big Trouble in Little China.
Hell yeah.
He's great. Fucking Victor Wong.
Tate, sorry, not Ty. Tate Fletcher.
Oh, Tate Fletcher. Yeah, he's
he has like a podcast now and shit too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's been on like Joe Rogan's show a bunch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can never remember his name. I thought it was Ty for some reason. But yeah, he's been on Breaking Bad, Jumanji, Westworld, the John Wick movies. He was just in that Project Power movie. He's in tons of shit. He did stunt work on Mandalorian.
Did you hear about the Mandalorian? The guy that plays the main character apparently got kicked off the set after like halfway through filming the show.
Pedro Pascal?
Yeah. He was getting upset because he wanted to show his face more. And all the producers of the show were like, that's kind of the whole point we established in the first season, is that you don't show your face.
I fucking knew it. I knew it was going to be a problem.
He threw a hissy fit and got in a big argument and then went behind their backs to the head of the studio to make his case. And when that happened, they basically just told him, like, you can just leave. You can just go. We're fine without you. So apparently the next season, there's a rumor that there's going to be a lot of
VO guy.
Well, there's going to be that, but they're also going to like have the Mandalorian not pop up as much in all the episodes. So like I guess maybe Baby Yoda will get caught up with other characters.
Team
and then
Yoda.
But like they don't even need him anyways.
I didn't like, we weren't streaming or anything back then, but I've been saying since day one, like, Pedro Pascal is gonna fucking get big and think he's the shit and eventually be pissed that he's behind a mask at all times, because that's why we don't have things like slasher movies and stuff anymore like regularly. Is all these people are worried about having their fucking face plastered everywhere. They're not worried about giving any sort of good performance and having to pull anything out like through actual hard work. They just want their fucking face attached to big things.
Yeah, every superhero movie has to have the character's face exposed, even though they're wearing a mask for the
Dude, even if an Avengers movie broke even, like, these people just want their names on it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing too, is like we're in a space with the way Hollywood's built itself up where you can't really lose money on those movies anymore, because they've proven they'll just edit the shit out of a movie and cut out all the stuff that offends a foreign audience and sell it to a foreign audience who just gobbles that kind of shit up. Yep. Like over in China, they love all that flashy shit. It's almost like people are working so much over there, they just want to be able to like flick their brain off for 2 hours and watch a movie with a bunch of crazy shit happening. I'm not into that anymore. I saw like the first Avengers movie, cool. There's some few Marvel movies that I think are great. It surprised me that I enjoy the Captain America movies over the majority of them.
I agree.
Yeah, I never would have thought I'd be saying that myself, but
I hated Doctor Strange because I thought it was such a disappointment. Like, they could have gone so crazy with that movie.
Yep.
But I'm super excited that Sam Raimi's making it, because maybe, I mean, his track record hasn't been great lately, but maybe this will be returned to form.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because like they ripped those other dudes away from it that were writing it, and it was supposed to be like Lovecrafty and straight up horror, and they were like, no, we're doing like real horror this time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'd rather see these younger dudes fuck around and have a good time, and just see Raimi like producing like he did with the Evil Dead remake.
Sure.
Because that Evil Dead remake, yeah, the performances are kind of like bleh, but they were trying to do more like grounded, real, not try to stand up to the perfect balance of the first one. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were like pissed that it wasn't hokey and like weird and campy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, a lot of people seem to be misremembering the Evil Dead movies, because the first one is like a straight up horror movie.
Yeah, that one was
with some comedy.
Serious. And then the sequel was basically the same thing, but with comedy added to it.
The sequel feels like they were doing like a remake, and they were like, they regretted not leaning into the comedy.
Yep.
It was like they went back and watched the final cut of the first one, and they were like, fuck, man, Bruce Campbell could have carried this whole movie for us. And then they went and did that.
It was almost like, how there's Return of the Living Dead, and then there's the Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which is like the same exact movie, but they just changed like the ending and a few other scenes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but a much better version of that movie.
Yeah. I'll have to check out Hereditary then. I keep seeing it on Netflix. Yeah, me and Geoff talked about it a little bit. It really resonates with me. I mean, and it's like a small scene, but there's like a scene where a dude bursts into flames.
Yep.
And after my car accident, I was having like recurring nightmares of that happening to me. So that movie like struck like a chord, and like it was just this perfect blend of like what was happening to me in real life and the timing of that movie release. So it like really hit me on a whole nother level, like horror movies haven't done to me before. But that is a very, I feel like, rare experience, because that's not what the movie's about. The movie's kind of about, like, Hereditary alone gives it away. It's kind of just like almost like mental illness and the evils that can be passed on through the family that you have no control over sort of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really well done. I recommend everybody watch it at least once if you can get through it. There's definitely some horror and stuff in it that are like, ooh, definitely make you cringe and freak out, but it is really well done. That Ari Aster dude is, I think, I thought he was going to have a big career in horror and stuff, but the last interview I read, it seemed like he was like, I had these 2 horror movies and everything else I want to do is like comedies and shit. So I was really surprised by that. But
I mean, I can understand it since his movies were so brutal. Maybe he's like, I need to relax.
Yeah. Know? And it could just be like, hey, good on him to be a creator, director like that. That's like, I know I have these 2 great, solid horror movies in me. I'm not just going to beat a dead horse and try to fucking pull blood from a stone and keep doing horror after this. Like, let's explore some other stuff. So cool for him. And I like, he's not a bad director. Like, even Midsummer is like early on, that's just a beautifully shot movie. It's just super uncomfortable because everything's really weird, but it's like he dictates what you're supposed to like understand properly. What's up, Kevin? Yeah, Ari Aster doing comedy is insane. I'm pretty sure it was the interview he did with Jordan Peele for Fangoria. It's called like Director on Director, and they get like one to talk to another one and do the whole interview.
Oh yeah,
and they were talking about how he didn't want to do horror forever, and I was like, that's actually really surprising, because this guy's doing that elevated horror that everybody's yelling about all the time. And oh my god, horror can be a real genre now. I'm like, I hate you people.
Yeah. One of the things I love about the time we're in, though, with horror is that it's finally gotten back to occult and supernatural horror. Because for the last decade, it was nothing but, before that, it was like Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer for a long time, those kind of movies. And then it was just remakes of slasher films.
I want more like in-frame prosthetic effects, and I keep seeing people like, oh, you're not looking hard enough for new shit. I'm like, no, I'm not seeing any of it. Even a lot of the movies that are like, oh, we're doing like real in-frame prosthetic effects, you watch the movie and it's in like a couple key scenes and it's like really little shit and it's just like, oh, that's kind of boring. Like
have you watched Lovecraft Country yet?
I haven't watched it yet. I was waiting till like there was more episodes out because I tend to just binge things when I have time.
I haven't seen it yet. I've been I was really excited when they first announced it because I love Lovecraft, but then I heard they were adding all this politics stuff, and I was like, it's gonna suck. But then I saw a clip where there's a really gross. I don't want to give it away because I want to watch the thing too. But there's a really gross scene in that reminded me of Hellraiser, and I was like, oh shit! Now I have to watch this movie. I mean, watch this show.
But yeah, I saw like some crazy ass opening that looked like a comic book movie with Cthulhu and shit. It made no sense.
Yeah.
And people were like, wow, that scene in the first episode is nuts. And I heard that and was like, oh, this sounds stupid. I'm just going to wait until there's more episodes out and watch it all at once. Because if I start watching stuff like that and like the first episode's really dumb and I have to wait a week to watch the next one, I'll just forget about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, on the chance that the pilot isn't that great and doesn't hook me, I like to at least be able to watch like the next episode. Because same thing would have happened with what was that one that I just watched on HBO? The Outsider, based on the Stephen King novel. Mm-hmm. Man, that just felt like it squandered opportunity after opportunity. Like
I was so many excited times. For that in the first episode. I was like, this is fucking great. And then it was like 5 episodes in, it's like, holy shit, can we move on? Can somebody do something?
If I didn't wait to watch that until all the episodes came out, I wouldn't have watched all of it. Yeah. I would have gotten like 4 episodes in and been like, fuck this. Like that's another one where it's like, this is how not to write a story. Like, I don't know if the book is better because that's actually a Stephen King book I haven't read. Mm-hmm. My brother was like hounding me to read it. But
one of the things that show also pissed me off about is the Southern accents in it. Everybody likes to give the British credit for like being these, amazing actors with American accents and stuff.
Yeah.
But the truth is, like, there are really great ones like Gary Oldman or Daniel Day-Lewis, but a lot of them.
Oh yeah, the 2 guys I forget are British.
Yeah, but everybody else they do these very generic accents, and like there's this generic American accent where you just kind of talk real low.
Yeah.
Or it's like if you're Southern, you kind of always talk like this, no matter what part of the South you're from.
The like infected dude, the cop that's like the B plot of the whole series.
Mm-hmm.
That was like what was throwing me off the whole time too, is it felt like his accent kept changing.
Yep.
And like the way he inflected dialogue, I was like, it felt like the only thing I could think of was like they pulled him back in for reshoots and he couldn't like get back into the character or something. Right. I was like, it's so weird. And then every time it felt like it was starting to get good, it just would derail again and make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole thing is like the more and more like Stephen King adaptions that come out, it's like, instead of having like one MacGuffin in your story, he's got like fucking 6 of them. Like nothing gets explained ever. And it's just like used as a device to move things forward. And this time around, that was just like, oh, this chick just fucking like knows things.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, that's just the thing now. Like since the Shining sequel, Dr. Sleep came out, just like everybody can shine. And like, you better be familiar with Stephen King. So you know that like, that's gonna be a thing in the whole fucking story.
Yeah, and like the Outsider too, they kept revealing all this stuff that you couldn't, prove any other way than that something weird is going on. And still the main detective was like, I don't know. I don't believe it. It's like, what more evidence do you have to fucking get, dude?
And there was a lot of like weird things that they'd like reveal, like the characters figuring out, but you're like, how the fuck could they have figured this out?
Mm-hmm.
Like this is literally like you came across an alien species and none of you are a scientist. Like you're just regular ass small town people, and you're like, we're gonna classify it. This is a huge scientific finding, and we are gonna figure out exactly what it is now. Me, the local janitor, this cop, and this lady who says she has visions. It's like, yeah, like a bunch of people who aren't qualified for any of this, except that like weird bug you think you found isn't a bug. It's like a murderous fucking shape-shifting monster that takes the form of people. And they're just like, oh yeah, we figured this out because we talked to this little girl, and then we figured this out. And then the whole show just keeps going back to that, but what if it is real idea? Because no one in the town believes the shit. So like every time you watching the show are like, God, this is some hokey bullshit, one of the characters in the show is like, but what if it's real? Like all serious. You're like, oh, they're literally talking directly to me. Like this part was ADR'd because they realized people are losing interest in this right here.
And it went on for so long.
Oh,
it could have been like 3 episodes.
That should have been a movie.
Yep, exactly.
That should have been a 2-hour at most Stephen King movie. And that's what I said after it was all done. And then I went and read a bunch of reviews, and everybody said basically the same thing, like movie or like a 3-episode mini series.
Yeah, it was just like, it started out so great. That first episode, I was all about it and super excited for the next one. And then I watched it, and it was just more and more disappointing and more boring. Just
and you
droning.
read the first couple chapters of things, and it really is just a bunch of like going around and interviewing people in the town about shit. Mm-hmm. And things like unraveling slowly. But even the book feels like it's kinetically moving like way faster, like than the entire, like the show was like a crawl, and it's that new, like it's become like the mainstream aesthetic for TV shows now to make everything like really washed out and drab again. Like everything's color corrected to be like kind of desaturated, even in like lighthearted, exciting moments. And it's just like, God damn, like nothing looks different anymore. I just got to put my headset down for a second. Hang on.
Hellraiser 2: Rise of the Ghost Captain.
I'm back.
I'm still waiting on an adaptation, like a true adaptation of a Lovecraft story. Like, we got one recently with Color Out of Space.
That's on my list just because that was something I haven't watched yet.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I would still love to get, like, Call of Cthulhu is my favorite. And I would love a Zodiac-style David Fincher Call of Cthulhu.
I was going to say, even just like a solid movie in the like realm of things he created again. Like, I'd love an old-timey fucking like pulpy detective story that's not necessarily straight up one of his books, but just like pulling from his books and do like, it feels like a hard-boiled noir and unravels into madness as you go. Like,
have you read
even
Call of
fucking
Cthulhu?
No, I haven't. I've been told to a bunch, but
it's my favorite because it's like you read Dracula, right?
I was gonna say, isn't that one of the detective ones?
Yeah, it's told like that, where you know how like Dracula is all these different people telling different stories.
I read Dracula once, and it bored the piss out of me in high school.
Well,
oh my.
Cthulhu is kind of like that, where it's all these different people, and like the story starts out with this guy's nephew who's the guy had just died, and his nephew has left his estate, and he's going through all his notes, and these guys been having correspondences with like detectives from all across the world and investigators and researchers and all this stuff. So all these different people have different stories, and so like you could do a TV show of Call of Cthulhu where literally every episode is a different character. Yeah. And how they progress the story until you eventually get to the huge climax of Real Young and stuff like that. But like that would be fucking great. Like if you did David Fincher Zodiac style, which is what that movie is. It's all different people investigating the killer. It would be amazing.
Those movies always seem to like work out the best too, where it's almost like an anthology that weaves together of all these people's lives, like Pulp Fiction and shit like that. That's why like most of Tarantino's movies are sort of structured like that now.
Yeah.
It's like an A, B, and a C plot, and you just make sure all your characters are really tight, and then it kind of pulls together in the third act. But they're all, if you pull them apart, they're all pretty basic plot structures. They just weave together very gracefully.
And that's why like World War Z was so dumb, because that's all disjointed stories that kind of connect in this one world event.
Yeah, and they just made it
Brad Pitt movie.
Yeah,
where he just happens to be in every situation in the world.
Yeah. Oh man. That was another one that was just like squandered opportunity. I knew it was something fucking weird too when they were like Brad Pitt's in it. I was like, oh, they completely threw out the whole backbone of this book.
Yeah.
Because that was brilliant. That should have just been like they're in a bunker going through like fucking recorded tapes of these interviews or something. Like they find the journalist from the book fucking dead at the beginning of it and all his interviews. Like you could have done any like multitude of really fucking simple setups for that and then just done it like all these different vignettes of stories of different people. Like,
and you know, been cool too. Like if they had done a VHS style movie of that with different directors doing each different segment.
That's what I mean. Like you just have that opening, that setup of like, and I think that would work perfect is to have the journalist from the book, like a fucking, like army ranger team finds his fucking corpse all ripped apart and it's just got like all his recordings from all the different stories in the book. And you just like roll the first recording and it flashes into another director's little short story based on that story from the book.
Wasn't the guy that wrote that Mel Brooks' son?
Yeah, Max Brooks.
Has he done anything else in horror?
Yeah, he did the zombie survival guide before he did World War Z.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, has he done anything else?
I think he did a comic book adaptation of World War Z, if I remember correctly, or he was trying to do that. I remember seeing pages for it a while back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he did anything else. Yeah, the ABCs of horror are great too. I think there's 2 of them now, right?
Yeah, and that was Care Andrews who made that.
Oh, damn.
That guy is amazing. I've always loved his art.
Tarantino and Larry David write in similar structures to me. Yeah, that's what I mean though, is like there's
pretty good.
It seems like there's a lot going on because there's like multiple plot threads and every character kind of gets their like equal time on screen, which is I think what I like about Tarantino's movies too, is like when there are like multiple lead characters, they do all get like a fair amount of screen time together. Like Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood both get almost equal screen time. Maybe Brad Pitt a little bit more than Leo, but
I wish it was all Brad Pitt though, because he was my favorite part of that whole movie.
Oh yeah, by the end of it, it's fucking great. But that's the other thing too, is it's you get all these different plots. They're fairly simple and everything, but he still throws in little things where like you might never like get an outcome for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the suitcase in Pulp Fiction, you never know what it is. In the end, by the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you don't really know if Brad Pitt actually killed his wife or not. It's just sort of like alluded to.
Yeah.
Like there's all these weird little things. So it's like it's almost like there's an A, B, C, and D plot, but one of those plots is going to be a bit of a throw off where you never see like the final act of that plot. And like when you see it all woven together, it feels more just like this rich world you're looking into, and not so much like these very concise little stories. Because I feel like he must write out all the stories separately and then figure out like how to piece them together at what points.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's like he's writing them non-linearly like that every time, that's fucking amazing that your brain can like think like that. Like Reservoir Dogs, I feel like would be confusing as shit if you just wrote it like beginning to end like you see it in the movie.
What is your favorite of his?
Oh man, that's tough. That's really tough.
If we're talking scripts, I would say True Romance is my favorite. They were talking
but True Romance. I was gonna say, yeah, True Romance he didn't direct, but that's one of his best scripts.
But if it's directed films, I'd probably say Kill Bill 2.
I was gonna say I really like both of the Kill Bills. Reservoir Dogs, I think I have a soft spot for because that was the first one I saw like really young, and I had no idea what the fuck I was getting into.
I got the poster up in my living room, and I have the gas can DVD pack.
Yeah, like that one is probably a big part of the reason I just like love crime movies so much.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like one of the first movies I saw as a little kid where I was like, oh yeah, you can shoot like a cheap fucking movie that's just like people talking for the majority of it if your script is really good and the performances are really good. And I was like, that's really fucking cool, because take it all away, like that's just a movie in a warehouse. Like that's like Harvey Keitel, Michael Madsen, Tim Roth, all those dudes just fucking absolutely giving it their all in a room.
I got in an argument with a friend once about Pulp Fiction because he was saying how it was overrated. A friend of ours had never seen it, and he was like, "Oh, don't watch it. It's overrated." I was like, "Dude, you can't say a movie that basically changed the direction of film for like a decade is overrated.
Yeah, right.
Whether you like it or not doesn't matter. You know, like every movie was just copying Pulp Fiction for years."
I think my whole thing too with Pulp Fiction, why I don't like it like so much more in all of his movies, is for a while I was just like, oh yeah, it's like cool and everything, but it's kind of like all over the place. Mm-hmm. I think it works better if you go into it feeling like it's like Tarantino's comic he didn't get to turn into a comic.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like to me. Is it's a little bit like surreal and almost like it doesn't ever tread into like full like surreal weird shit like Lynch does, but like the overall story is just so strange, and there's a lot of like symbolism in it throughout it that you can't tell by the end of it if that's something that came from the audience's interpretation or if that was intentional. And Tarantino has never like fully like seemed to have fleshed that out or explained that. He likes to just let people take from it what they will. Mm-hmm. Kind of like the Who Shot Nice Guy Eddie shit in Reservoir Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Which evidently originally in the special features, I guess someone spoiled it, but it was like cut out. Like the crew knows Who Shot Nice Guy Eddie, but
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did a crew shirt, and on the crew shirt, I guess it said like Who Shot Nice Guy Eddie on the front, and then it had the color of the person on the back. Just like their little silhouette from the cover. But like you can't find the shirt anywhere, and all of the like cast and crew were sworn to like a vow of silence about it. Is really weird, but they've kept it up just out of like pure respect for Tarantino over the years.
Mm-hmm. I haven't liked his latest output that much though. Like Hateful Eight, I hated.
Hateful Eight, like it was cool for what he was doing. I just wish I could have seen it on fucking 70 millimeter.
Django, I didn't like.
Django I enjoyed, but Django was the first time I felt like he was doing a studio film.
Yeah, like
which is weird.
I liked in Django the scene where he and his wife are trying to escape the plantation, which I thought was like one of the most beautiful and terrifying
intense
scenes.
Yeah,
like it's incredible to look at, but it's so fucking dramatic and amazing. And then the rest of the movie, it just felt was so silly, and I didn't care about any of the characters.
She ends up being incredibly cardboard too.
Yeah,
like she had that one scene where they're like pulling her out of the hot box, and it's like genuinely sad. Like I feel like she did that well. I was like, Jesus, did they actually have her locked in this thing for a while? Like,
yeah,
she seems genuinely like distraught, as you would be. But like past that, I don't know if that was like an intentional thing to kind of like play into the fairy tale, like she really is at the end of it all, just like Broomhilda, the like damsel in distress that he's got to save.
Mm-hmm.
And well, you know, that's very Tarantino to make it meta like that. And she's supposed to be this like one-dimensional character that like he's just solely worried about getting her back. It's not, we don't need to flesh out who she is.
Mm-hmm.
We know she's the woman he loves. So I really enjoyed that movie, but that again was another one that had a bunch of shit in it that could have been cut down. And it's like, normally I love that he lets his scenes breathe a bunch and fucking lets actors do whatever. But like that movie felt like it ended and then it comes back for like another 45 minutes.
Yeah. And Jamie Foxx too was one of the problems I had with it. Like, he's just not a guy I really like. You know, there's just certain actors where you can't really explain why you don't
He's
like
Bruce
him.
Willis, man. He plays himself in everything.
Well, I always think of him too from In Living Color. You know,
Yeah.
like, I just think of him as a goofy guy. I can't take him as an action guy.
That's the whole thing. He's forever just like goofy Jamie Foxx, and I think that works for him in the comedy stuff. But I think like Baby Driver is like as far as he could take it.
I was really disappointed with Baby Driver. I know a lot of people loved it.
Oh, I didn't like it at all. I thought it was like kind of really corny.
Okay, thank you. Because to me, when I watched
surprised the hell out of me.
It felt like a Drive wannabe, you know?
Yep.
And it didn't have that Edgar Wright kind of style and feel to it.
That was the thing.
It.
It was like Edgar Wright smoked weed and was like, it'd be cool to sync a movie up to like a soundtrack, like through and through. And then he was like, oh, what would be good with that? Like drifting sort of street racing vibe, like what Fast and the Furious does in all its trailers, but it's like not Fast and the Furious, it's something else. And then he wrote like a somewhat competent like heist plot to it and tried to put like a like edgy, like you know, like the double cross twist at the end and all that. And then again, just like Django, like I was just saying, I don't get this like, if you want to throw a female character in or a love interest or whatever, cool, rad. Flesh that fucking part of your story out, though.
Yeah.
Holy shit. There's a reason Voidwalker doesn't have a love interest, because we just didn't have the space in the page amount we had to like write that sort of B plot in there and make it really like work and feel good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people are thinking Amelia is supposed to be the love interest, but like, if you're gonna do something like that, you need to at least make the person feel somewhat like a person. Django, it kind of works because I think they were kind of playing into that whole fairy tale that they set up in the like first, second act sort of vibe, and then it gets to it at the end, and it's like, yeah, it's not about like knowing this woman's life story now. It's about breaking out of here and getting free together, and that's why that moment's so satisfying at the end. But
Ryan just commented it's a superhero movie. She's supposed to be purposefully a damsel. Ryan's like, it's a good movie, damn it.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. If you pick up on that and you're getting it, yeah, it works great. Same way Once Upon a Time is a fucking huge power fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are like, oh, it's so fucking tasteless for him to like beat up the Manson family and show like Sharon Tate going off and having her baby in the end, like a happy ever after moment. It's like, no, it's a fucking fairy tale.
Yeah, it's like, something as Inglourious Bastards. Like,
yeah, what we wished had happened if all the evil in the world had failed. Like, it's fucking not literal, you idiots. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's why Django worked for me, and I've also got a huge soft spot for westerns. Like, I kind of wish Tarantino and Rodriguez would get back together and do another balls to the wall horror flick.
Dude, I just watched Desperado for the first time in like a decade, and that movie's so fucking great. It's so fun.
Oh yeah. I've only seen El Mariachi once, and that was like, Yeah. I think Desperado like perfects it.
And that Desperado is also kind of like Evil Dead, where it's basically just a remake of the first movie. But dude, what's her name in the movie? The chick, you know what I'm talking about.
Is Salma Hayek in that
one? Salma
one?
Hayek, yeah.
That is
amazing.
Her? Okay. Yeah, she was like...
And Tony Banderas is fucking cool as hell.
That was why she got the Queen Vampire in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, was off of that performance, I'm pretty sure. And, you know, she's like a reliable actor. She wasn't as big of a name at the time. She doesn't even get naked in From Dusk Till Dawn either. They were just like, you're so hot, you're going to wear this crazy serpent shit. And
yeah, those wide hips. Just do your thing.
Yeah, you're going to dance and pour liquor all down your body into Tarantino's mouth off of your foot, because...
And even with like that prosthetic,
that was before everybody knew he was like a huge foot pervert. So like,
well, probably Robert knew. He's like, "I'll help you out, buddy."
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, but even with that like that weird snake vampire prosthetic makeup, it's like, still would.
Right? Oh, you know Tarantino would. Be like, turn the lights off, put a wig on.
But yeah, Dusk Till Dawn, great.
Then awesome they came back with Grindhouse, and which that's the only reason I'm like, maybe they won't do like like another horror one, because that was what I wondered when they announced Grindhouse, was like, oh, weird, they're not doing like a production together. Like they're doing a production together, but they're both doing their own separate movies and kind of won't be around each other while they're doing it, to do it as like an old drive-in double feature. But I'm like, was that also because they both kind of wanted control of their stories this time around? Because I would love to see, like, I feel like From Dusk Till Dawn was such a like weird set of circumstances that led to that movie happening.
Yeah. I was not a big fan of Planet Terror. I like Death Proof a lot, and so everybody is the opposite. Everybody likes Planet Terror and hates Death Proof.
I hated Death Proof the first time I saw it. Just it was like, okay, this is like super fetish for Tarantino. But Death Proof is like I watched it again recently, and Death Proof is the one that I think I like more just because of the cinematography. It feels like an old movie legitimately. Yeah, Kevin, I'm gonna make you my love interest.
Ryan said he can, but be prepared to be fleshed out.
So fleshed out. Yeah, like just that weird bar scene at the beginning with the chicks and everything that kind of feels like it goes on for way too long.
Yeah.
It like lingers forever. And the only thing I think I don't really like about the Death Proof was all the like asides with Kurt Russell.
Oh, really?
I think it would have hit harder if it was just that like one aside where like he addresses the audience, and I think it's the one on like the side of the road.
Oh, okay.
Like, leans out his window and talks directly to the camera. But there's like he does it like at the bar once, and it happens like 2 or 3 times I think throughout the whole movie. I was like, I felt like that would have hit way harder if it was just that one time.
Sure.
And it was literally like, it's when he like pops up out of the car and he's like, that was fun or some shit like that.
Right.
And he just looks like it's like he's looking you directly in the eyes. And I was like, oh, I love that. But it was like, it also happens like 2 or 3 more times. And you're just like, oh, you didn't need to do this so much.
Yeah, like every complaint I've heard about it, I agree with, but I still like the movie. You know?
Yeah, I enjoy it now going back to it. But I remember, man, watching that in theaters, I was like, this is so fucking stupid. And the theater we watched it at, I'm pretty sure it played Death Proof first and then Planet Terror. And I was like, what the fuck? I love the cheesy ass trailers and everything, like even Rob Zombies, like love those. And Planet Terror I still enjoy. Like me and Beth rewatched both of them recently together. And she, I think, liked Planet Terror more just because she's not into like these weird old movies where it seems like it's going nowhere. And like Death Proof is really just like a ton of build up and suspense just for like a big payoff. If you're going into that movie not knowing what the hell it's about, that's the best experience. That's why I'm not really like getting too much into the story. But Planet Terror very much feels like it was like shot digitally and then made to look like an old campy movie.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's exactly what they did. But it also, I think because of that one, like pushed that whole resurgence of like knockoff grindhouse movies and sort of bastardized that idea and that name. So now just like anything that has like cigarette burn effects like thrown over it and like some extra film grain, everybody's like, yeah, that's a grindhouse movie. I love that. I'm like, no, that's not what makes it that. Like,
well, and the problem for me too is the main guy. You know, he's the one that's
Freddie Rodriguez or whatever.
Yeah. He is so unintimidating that I can't buy him like as
5'2".
Yeah, it's like I can't buy him as this ultimate soldier. Like if they had Antonio Banderas in that, I'd be like, oh fuck yeah.
That's the whole thing though. They're poking fun. Also, that feels, now that you said that, it feels like they were probably aiming for that and he wasn't up for it.
No.
But that's the whole thing, is like that whole movie feels like it's supposed to be poking fun at the tropes of zombie movies and everything. And the only real character I ended up absolutely loving is the barbecue guy Jeff Fahey plays.
I don't remember that. I mean, I haven't seen the movie since it came out.
Fahey or Leahy? Fahey, I think. I think that's his name. Yeah, he's the barbecue guy, and he's in a bunch of stuff. I think he was in that horror movie Pieces back in the day. He plays the weird.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
I think
I
he's
see him
like
right
the
here.
mayor in Machete.
Yeah, he's in Lost, and
Yeah,
he was in a
tons of
bunch of '80s
stuff.
movies. He was in Lawnmower Man.
Another just awesome fucking character actor. And he's like the best part in that, and he's the only guy who has like a sad ending. I think he dies like in the jail. But he figures out the secret to the perfect barbecue sauce, I think, is like a little bit of his blood in it. It needs more salt, basically. He gets like a drop of blood in it, and he's like, oh shit, that's perfect. Then he realizes it basically like right as he dies next to like his barbecue rival in jail. And I was like, that scene is so stupid and
now
perfect.
That you're telling me, it's coming all back, and I remember this.
It's like a very humanizing scene, and he's like a bastard throughout the entirety of the movie, just like protecting his recipe and like shooting zombies outside the barbecue place. And early on, like when the zombies storm the place, it genuinely feels like this guy is just killing the zombies to protect his fucking recipe. And I loved that aspect of it. But like he genuinely is the only one with like a satisfying conclusion in that story. And they do I think the thing I hate the most about it is that hokey ass ending. If you remember, where they're like in Paris or some shit, and they've like traveled across the world and found like a safe society, and Rose McGowan's doing like a voiceover of the whole thing, and it looks like this like picturesque postcard, and she's walking around with a baby and like a sling on her back, and like everybody has guns, and they're like traveling the world to find a safe space to live. It was really corny and over the top.
Gotcha.
But it's like, I finally had the kid and we're living safely in this new world. But yeah, there's things I love about Planet Terror, and I can still watch it like 1,000 times over, but it is just like
so bad.
They went all over the place. Hi.
Well, what we got going on in the chat?
Beth being creepy.
Yeah, I like Robert Rodriguez. He put out Battle Angel Alita, which is pretty good.
I still haven't watched that.
It's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
So many people like yelling at me about that to see it, and I still have yet to watch it.
There's times where, you know, like it's very much a studio film, but there are times when you can feel his influence in it.
Yeah, I mean, didn't he shoot a bunch of it like in his backyard, like he does most of his stuff now?
I don't know. When I watched the making of, they were all on like some giant set and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, he has a giant studio in his backyard in Texas, and it's like a huge fucking green screen and a bunch of other stuff. That's how he launched El Rey Network. Like they have like I think it's like a green screen or blue screen soundstage that he built. Like in his, you got to check it out sometime, dude. Every one of his movies, he does like a
for Spy Kids.
Yeah, he does like a cooking channel episode on like all of his movies special features. There's always like a Cooking with Rodriguez bit. Yeah, like and he'll talk about his studio. I know he's done interviews about it. You can like look up, I'm pretty sure you can look up pictures of it online. I don't know if it has like a name. Yeah, it's him, and isn't his wife Michelle Rodriguez?
No. She's lesbian, I think.
Oh, I thought. Oh no, it's not. Are they like related or something? Because she's in a bunch of his films.
Nope, you're just being racist.
Oh, great. Edit that out. Jamie.
He's actually doing everybody in the internet shows now.
Yeah. Spotify just ain't coming through with that money. Okay,
he was with Rose McGowan for a while. I don't know who he's with now.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, it's some Elizabeth Evelan.
No idea.
Is that the lady he had kids with eventually?
Oh no.
Yeah, he's got a studio. I think
he's a guy who could really like this is the perfect time for Robert Rodriguez, because films like his are perfect now. Like Brawl and Cell Block 99 could have been a Rodriguez style film, Like this is the time for him to come back and do his own thing.
How did I not remember that? Troublemaker Studios.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and like you can look up pictures of it online and it looks like a warehouse you'd go and get murdered in a slasher film. Like that's why I was like, this is the dude to fucking like send your scripts as an indie dude if you wanted to make a movie. Like he's got a fucking studio in his backyard if he likes your shit enough. Like
I want him to come back and do a Desperado sequel, not that stupid Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
You watch your mouth.
He sucked. Boring.
It wasn't that bad. Troublemaker Studios backlot. Yeah, dude, it's fucking huge. And like every picture I can find of it online, other than this one where he's painting the inside of it or sweeping it or something, it looks like run down as fuck from the outside. Like
Ryan with the burn.
Spencer loves tacos but hates those that make them. That's a lie. It was like the first 15 years of my working life, all I did was work with South American dudes and Mexican guys.
Spencer thought tacos were made by white people.
Yeah. I just, for some reason, my dumb brain thought they were married for a while.
She's a cool chick. I've seen her in interviews.
Yeah, she's great. She might be a lesbian though. That makes sense.
Have you seen her in that movie that
might be more
Walter
offensive?
Hill did?
Who knows? Walter Hill? Which
it was
one?
a sex change movie where she gets a forced sex change.
Me and Beth saw that on something, and I read the fucking synopsis, and we couldn't believe that was like a real thing and that she was in that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was a Walter Hill movie.
I love.
Didn't
Walter
he
Hill.
fucking work on Warriors?
Yeah, he wrote that.
Yeah,
and he also it's an adaptation.
He's done a bunch of stuff, but
for the screenplay.
Yeah.
He did Southern Comfort, which is really great.
Fuck.
He also did a movie. What's that movie called? I gotta look at Walter Hill is one of my favorites.
Oh man, Robert Rodriguez did that for fucking tacos is like the theme of the day, but he did that for I think it was both the Machete premieres at San Diego Comic-Con. They had a taco truck, and it was like him and the cast of Machete like serving tacos to people. Okay,
so The Warriors, The Driver, Southern Comfort, 48 Hours.
Oh, that movie kicks ass.
Geronimo.
Did he also write another 48 Hours?
Did you see Trespass? It's like Ice Cube and Ice-T and Bill Pullman and the dude from Demon Knight.
Billy
I always
Zane?
love that fucking... No, not Billy Zane, the main guy. The actual dude. The knight.
Oh.
Is it Zapka? He's also deaf. He's deaf and
yeah, that's fuck. Why can't I think of his name? William Sadler. Jesus.
Sadler. Yeah. It's those two guys. They find out that there is like a treasure in this old apartment building, and they go to break it out. But then it turns out like this gang is doing some kind of meeting there, and they get stuck, and it goes crazy from there. But I always fucking love that movie. And yeah, Ice Cube's in it, and Ice-T, and a whole bunch of other dudes.
Yeah, that I'm reading the synopsis right now. That kind of sounds like a vibe like that Out of the Furnace movie we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Oh, and The Getaway. I love the fucking Getaway. The Steve McQueen version.
Walter Hill, so it probably kicks dick, dude.
You seen The Getaway?
Which one is that?
Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw.
Oh yeah, that's like a film I'd watch with my dad.
That's one of my
48 Hours fucking kicks ass if you've never seen that. I didn't even know that was him.
Yeah, with Nick Nolte.
Yeah, dude.
Ah, hell.
Eddie Murphy. Okay, he did do oh no, he just did he got the credit for the characters from Another 48 Hours. He didn't actually write that one. Yeah, how did I not know he wrote Aliens?
Oh yeah, he came in and fixed the script.
Yeah,
and then he also brought back Tales from the Crypt. He's the guy that made the TV show.
Oh fuck.
He's a big comic book fan from the like the horror comics. And
stuff.
No,
I remember that from there was like a thing on the Warriors where literally like he was like reading them on set and shit. Yeah. Oh, he was a producer on Demon Knight as well.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
On pretty much all of a bunch of the Tales from the Crypt episodes and the movies. Yep, he also produced Bordello of Blood.
I didn't really care for Bordello of Blood, but I love Demon Knight.
Oh, because you hate boobs?
No, I hate Dennis Miller. No, I'm just kidding.
Because I'm a terrorist and I hate boobs.
You want me to keep going on about Hispanic people and your hatred of them?
I hate boobs and little people. And that fake priest guy in it, who's also another famous actor. Isn't that like, what's his face, Sarandon? Right? That was him?
I don't remember.
Oh, I gotta go to it now. Pretty sure. Is that Susan Sarandon's husband or brother?
Was it the dude from Fright Night?
Yeah, Chris Sarandon.
I think he was her ex-husband.
Yeah, I'm like, is brother or husband?
Like, nope, just Spencer being racist towards white people.
Yep, just racist towards everybody with the same name.
All these Sarandons walking around.
Who are you? He was born Christopher Sarandon.
And now he is Fright Night.
Oh, yeah, no, So he married Susan Sarandon, and she took his name and kept it. He hasn't been married to Susan Sarandon since 1979, though.
I always get him confused with the priest from Silver Bullet.
Oh, God, now I gotta look this guy up. And I watched Silver Bullet like fairly recently and reread the book because I have a first printing of Cycle of the Werewolf. Why I couldn't fucking think of that.
Another fun movie. I grew up watching that one all the time.
Dude, Cycle of the Werewolf. Fucking Bernie Wrightson art with a Stephen King story.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'll have to find it. It's somewhere in my office. But oh yeah, Everett McGill. He looks fucking nuts now, but yeah, back in the day they definitely kind of had a similar.
He was in a lot of good stuff. He was
in Twin Peaks. Why do I not remember that?
He was in Dune. He's in People Under the Stairs.
Such a weird movie.
He's a good villain.
Yeah, he looks like an evil ass like Russian guy.
And he has that real deep voice.
Yeah, a face with extra muscles.
Yeah, yeah, he does look like that cow with all the extra muscles on it. You know what I'm talking about? the beef cow. It's funny that we somehow got around to Chris Sarandon because I have the original Fright Night on the list because that's on Prime, and I actually haven't watched that one in forever. So I was like, that would be a decent one. I haven't watched the sequel in forever either, though. So that may be a good one too. Because doesn't the sequel have a werewolf in it?
I don't even remember the sequel. That's how long it's been. So we should just watch both of those.
That'd be cool.
I got to see if that's on there. Another old one that I love that I haven't seen in forever, but I don't think it's on there unless you buy it or rent it. But The Howling, the original one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think would be really cool. Was it fucking Eddie Quist? That's his name.
Did Christopher Columbus direct The Howling? Or did he write it?
Wasn't that his name? Because that's fucking hilarious. What's up, our Last Man Standing? That's a remake of Yo-Yimbo. What's the Bruce Willis one?
That's what it is. Movie.
Dude, Blind Johnny Depp. Yeah, exactly. Kevin gets it.
He was cool in it. I'll give him credit. I liked his character.
Yeah, that's like one of my more preferred Johnny Depp movies. Like, he's kind of an asshole in that too, isn't he?
But he looks cool.
He's like a CIA guy or some shit. All right. That scene where he's just blinded, wandering around, shooting shit is great, though. That's a way of a filler scene in your movie that's actually interesting.
Oh, Joe Dante directed The Howling. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know why I was like, Christopher Columbus. Who's that?
I think because Joe Dante did The Gremlins, and I think the guy that wrote that was Christopher Columbus. So I was thinking he did that one as well, but it got mixed up.
He discovered America, you fool. He wasn't a director.
He did.
Christopher Columbus evidently did a Harry Potter movie. What the fuck?
Yeah, he did Home Alone
and Rent. He's producing the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Weird. Yeah, he seems to just be doing tons of kids movies now.
That's what he's been doing for like.
How did I not remember this guy's name ever? And he's done like every movie I loved from my childhood.
Yeah, Christopher Columbus did a lot of cool stuff.
And then he did Pixels.
Yeah. You know what? One thing I did like about Pixels, though, was the scene where Pac-Man's creator goes to meet Pac-Man and he bites his hand.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one funny part of the whole movie.
Is that Miyazaki? No, not Miyazaki. Miyamoto, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Miyazaki's fucking studio.
Nausicaa and shit. Yeah.
Good evening, Ara. Thank you. Actually haven't checked on that. We got so wrapped up in the movie discussion still.
Yeah, we still need to figure out some movies. If anybody has any ideas, hit us up.
So we got My Bloody Valentine, Lords of Salem, Fright Night 1 and 2 might be a good one to just start on just because those are fucking classics and we at least know they're good.
Roddy McDowell.
Crawl I put on the list just because I know me and Beth are going to watch that soon and we didn't watch it when it came out.
Oh, I saw that already.
House of a Thousand Corpses because I haven't seen that since it came out.
With fat Chris Hardwick. Remember that? He used to be fat.
Oh, holy shit, that is him.
And Dwight.
Yeah, I knew that, but I never even realized that was Chris Hardwick. Holy shit. Trucks I put on the list because that's evidently the other version of Maximum Overdrive I've never heard about.
Really?
Yeah, it came out in 1998, which I thought Maximum Overdrive came out around that time.
No, but this one's 89 or something.
Yeah, this one's just called Trucks, and that's what the original story was called.
So it's a new adaptation of the same story?
Yeah, so it's probably extra stupid because it came out in 98, but I thought that would be funny, and it's on Amazon Prime.
Dude,
another one that I've never seen or heard of before.
I fucking love Maximum Overdrive. I used to watch that all the time as a kid.
I do too. It was campy as all hell, but I thought it was hilarious when I was younger.
And the Green Goblin fucking truck?
Dude, you stole the words right out of my mouth. How could you not love that as a kid? Color Out of Space is on there just because I know I'm pretty sure you had said you'd already seen that, but that was another one that was recent and I want to see it. I believe it's Stuart Gordon's The Dolls, and it's on.
Oh yeah, it's on Amazon, I think.
Amazon, and I remember that being fucking nuts. And I hate dolls, so I thought that would also be funny.
Did you like Puppet Master?
They freaked me out when I was a little kid because again, I fucking hate dolls.
Right.
We could definitely get into those at some point. I watched the newer one and it was just dumb.
Have you seen the studio that made that also did? There's a weird vampire movie
that was done by Zoller. The new one.
Oh, the new one. Yeah, he wrote the new one. But I'm talking about the
that
old
was
one.
That was like he got high with a friend and wrote it like over a weekend.
Yeah, which is really bizarre. Of all the things he would have done, is that movie.
Well, I mean, if Cinestate's flipping the bill and they've been paying you good for scripts already, and they're just like, hey, we know you can write like a competent script. Like, you want to throw this together for us real quick? Like, that movie looked like they maybe spent like $500,000 on it at most. Like, it didn't look expensive.
Yeah, so Full Moon Features made the original ones, and they also did like Trancers.
Yeah, Full Moon was fucking wild back in the day.
Subspecies. That's the one I was thinking of. Do you remember that series?
I don't know if I saw that one. I know they had demonic toys too.
It was a really weird vampire movie. And it was a series. It was like a bunch of different movies. And I used to see them on Sci-Fi Channel all the time. I can't remember what the name of the vampires. What's it say his name was?
When did it come out? 1991.
Radu. Radu is the name of the vampire. He used to have like really long fingers.
Pulling it up right now to look at it. Holy shit. Oh my god, this looks fantastically bad. Oh, there's like little like gargoyle red demon guys peering over a ledge that look like they've been beating each other off and they got caught. I don't know what is going on here. This looks... Wait, it was a comic?
Was it really?
Creatures of the Night subspecies in full color.
It just looks like a ripoff of Morbius.
Yeah, it seems they made a comic. Almost looks like it came out to coincide with the movie. And you can barely call it a comic. Like, the art looks like it was drawn in the dark.
Can you pull up a picture of Radu with his stupidly long hands?
Of course. With his stupidly long hands. I can only find this one photo of it, so...
Like he's supposed to be holding stuff in some pictures. You can tell he has no idea how to do it.
Yeah, like, I can't fucking bend these fingers, guys. Like,
guys, it's not really scary if I'm struggling to do this.
How have I might have seen these when I was like real young, but I'm not remembering it at all. Fantastically bad. The review of every Ed Wood movie. This looks like Ed Wood for the 90s. Yeah, these were the demons that looked like they got caught beating off. They're like startled over this hill, and evidently they are genuinely like really tiny. Oh, that might be a titty in the background there. We'll gotta...
They kind of look like the demons.
Gotta close out of that. Those little demons are looking at a titty. Yeah, they're weird. That was the weird thing though, was like who the fuck was the guy at Full Moon that was so good at this miniature work?
Yeah.
Like, they're weird as hell, but they're like well sculpted. Like,
mm-hmm. Hey, can you go to the one next to my avatar?
Wait, I gotta go back and look at it. Is it the lady like
sleeping with him over top of her?
Sprawled out?
Go down. One.
Oh. With him sucking air out of her mouth?
Like a cat when you're sleeping.
I got long fingers.
I don't like drinking blood. I like to just suck your air out of your breath.
Yeah. I huff your nasty breath while you sleep. There's a good couple of screenshots in here that just have titties hanging out everywhere, which...
Oh yeah, that's Full Moon right there, baby.
Yeah.
All day.
Don't hold that, guys. Those demons probably were beating off. Yeah, that's... I definitely don't remember that one at all. Like, for sure, interesting. Try and get through the rest of this list. Trucks was another one. I guess I should be like starring shit that we think is good. So Fright Night was good. You think Trucks would be good? I mean, it'll probably be stupid.
You think it's on Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Yeah, it's got like a guy. Cool. It's got like a skeleton driving a big rig, screaming, like driving at the viewer, and it looks cheesy as fuck. The Church, which was also on Amazon.
Yep.
I think that one will be good. Dolls, I'm just putting on the list because I want to see that again. I haven't seen it, and it'll probably freak me the fuck out because I hate dolls. No matter.
I don't know that I've ever seen it because there were like a ton of films like that. Like they said, Puppet Master was one of them. Dolls.
The only thing I remember about it is a giant teddy bear scaring the ever-living shit out of me in like one scene. And I don't remember what it was doing or anything, but like when I was a little kid, I saw it. I had no concept for who Stuart Gordon was, and I was like just fucking nuts. And his movies are always this like fine line of like campy fun and like outright horror, so definitely want to check that one out again. Shudder had Mortuary from 1983 and Mausoleum, which are two different movies but sounded eerily similar. They're both from 1983. They're both on Shudder. No clue what either of them are about, but they look corny as fuck and had a bunch of like creature effects in them.
What was it called again?
Mortuary, and then the other one's Mausoleum.
I have no idea what those are.
They're both from 1983, and yeah, I hadn't seen either of them. One from 92 called Hellmaster that looks like it either ripped off Event Horizon or was inspired by, or what inspired Event Horizon.
What year was it?
92.
Then it was before Event Horizon.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too, because Event Horizon was like mid 90s, if I remember correctly.
Still gotta be Paul W.S. Anderson's best film, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that was him. That's the Resident Evil guy, isn't it?
Yeah, he did Mortal Kombat and that, and then everything else was kind of shit.
Yeah. Fuck that guy. The coolest thing he ever did was marry fucking Mila.
Fucking A, you just beat me to it.
And that's not even that cool now that we've seen her act in 10 of the same movie.
I still love her.
Turkey Shoot, which is evidently just a weird old school movie on Shudder about like it's almost like Children of Corn, but without kids. It's like a couple caught in this weird, like futuristic town where they're being hunted by the town or some shit. It didn't really make any sense. Look corny as fuck, and it's from like the mid 70s, if I remember correctly.
Kevin, I don't think I can watch Dracula 2000. I saw that in theaters, and I never wanted to watch it again.
That movie was painfully dumb. Hellmaster looked funny as shit though, and there's literally like a carved up. I don't know if it was a cop or what. Like that was the only picture it showed on Shudder was just this dude all like carved up, like Sam Neill at the end of it. Yeah, it's from 92.
It sounds like somebody who would have fought Hulk Hogan when he went to WCW. Let me tell you something, dude. This brother over here, I'm gonna take him down.
He's the villain in Abraxas. Yeah, so I'm about to share it. I have no fucking clue what this movie is about, but Hellmaster looked ridiculous. I have no clue. It's just like scarred to shit. And John Saxon is in it. And I don't know if that's John Saxon playing the Hellmaster or what. I've never seen it before. It looks fucking... That looks like Ron Howard in makeup. Looks like Ron Howard with a swollen head, which I didn't think that was possible.
When you see a really, really creepy villain, just make him look like Ron Howard.
Oh my god. Yeah, cult film from an alternate timeline. Like, there's John Saxon. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck the movie's about, but the image was so visually striking in a stupid way that I was like, yup, putting it on my list.
Another great character actor right there.
Here we go. All hell breaks loose when John Saxon, Dawn of the Dead, and David Ernge, is that what that says? It's
I
fucking
can't read
it.
It's small on the screen.
Yeah, team up in this terrifying tale of scientific experiment run amok. So yeah, this is literally like fucking.
He looks like the Booty Man from WCW. Holy shit!
This is like low budget Event Horizon before Event Horizon, and it's probably not on a spaceship.
Dude, Google Booty Man WCW.
Yeah, a rural college campus is transformed into a bloody battlefield when Dr. Jones, a deranged professor, presumed to have perished in a research experiment, returns to plunder his alma mater. Discovers the professor's insidious secret of injecting innocent individuals with a highly addictive mutation drug. Suddenly, good-looking college kids are transmuting into hideous creatures bent on carrying out the psychotic scientist's scheme for global slavery.
Oh.
Yeah. Alone, Odin must battle the demented doctor in a hailstorm of hellish hallucinations to save her friends, herself, and the entire free world from fate more horrible than death. This is Event Horizon, not on a spaceship. That's insane. Is this the theme of the day? Is this another guy who wrote this movie and then wrote Event Horizon? It's like, I've perfected it. It was pretty dumb the first time, but the second time it's a winner.
Well, another one I thought of too was Dark Phoenix, which is a remake of the third X-Men movie.
Oh, it is? I still haven't watched it. Kayla's a huge Dark Phoenix fan, so I was waiting for her to go see it.
She's the one.
Was like screaming at me how bad it was.
Oh, okay.
And like ripping it apart.
I thought you meant she loved it.
Oh no, dude. She was like mortified at how bad it was. She's like, should be so easy to make a good movie out of this, and they still fucked it up. And she didn't even mention that. Maniac Cop 1 through 3, because I haven't watched any of them in years. I also read today that the third one is about him finding a love interest, so it's kind of like that Bride of Frankenstein angle, which I thought was hilarious. And I was completely unaware of. All three of those are on Shudder too.
Can I add one? I don't know if it's available anywhere. We'll have to look for it.
Yeah, of course.
Brain Scan.
Yes, Brain Scan. That movie. That's the weird fucking... Wait, which one is Brain Scan?
It's the one with the kid from Terminator 2, where he plays a video game.
Is it like a weird-ass bulbous head punk rock dude?
Yes.
Okay, so it is the movie I'm thinking of.
That's it.
Yep. Bulbous head punk rock dude. I can't remember this guy's name either, but yes, we should totally watch this. I didn't realize that was Edward Furlong.
Yep.
The Trickster.
Who was he? Who was the actor?
Let's find out.
T. Ryder Smith. I have no idea who that is.
That's who played the Trickster?
Yeah. I have no idea who this is. Apparently he does voices on the Venture Brothers. Must have been like his only movie. People saw it and they're like, nope.
Weird.
Not getting casted in anything else. But he was good.
Right? Who are you, T. Ryder Smith?
T for Trickster.
There's a picture of him up on the little Google part. It almost looks like a T. Ryder. He almost looks like a John Waters. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a less weird looking John Waters kind of. Oh yeah, here's him getting the mask taken off.
Oh, cool.
Was that Andy Schonenberg? Is that guy's name?
No idea. Oh shit, and there he is in some kind of theater play.
Yeah, right. There he is. This is like Queen Elizabeth.
All right.
So this might just be John Waters.
Dude's got range.
This might be John Waters. Oh yeah, he's Baron von Underbite.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and he's this creepy fucking dude in BioShock. Holy shit.
I just downloaded the BioShock trilogy from PS4.
Yeah, it's like one of the weird melty-faced dopehead people from the first one.
I never played it. I really want to play it though.
Oh, the first one's the best one, dude. Like, that's like the only one worth playing through at this point.
You know, originally they're going to have Gore Verbinski do a film adaptation about it.
Dracula 2 Ascension. Dark Phoenix is on my Netflix queue. See, I didn't even know it was on Netflix. The Burning was another one I put on the list.
Oh, yeah, with George Costanza.
Yeah, if you've never seen that, it's got Jason Alexander and Fisher Stevens, too. Young Fisher Stevens getting fucked up.
Who's Fisher Stevens? Remind me.
Short Circuit. Johnny Five is alive.
Oh, really?
Brownface Fisher Stevens. Yeah, he's not actually Indian like he is in those movies.
He was in Hackers, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, he's like a little Jewish kid. Oh, yeah, that is him in Hackers, and I always forget about that. I don't know why part of my brain is like, that's the dude from Breakfast Club when I think back to Hackers. What is it, Judd Nelson or whatever the fuck his name is?
Judd Hirsch?
I don't know. The fucking... What is his name?
I don't think anybody from Breakfast Club is in Hackers.
No, I know. I just used to think that Fisher Stevens was that dude from Breakfast Club. Judd Nelson? Yeah, Judd Nelson.
Oh no, he's not in it. Oh, who did you
No,
think he
I
was?
know. I thought he was Fisher Stevens' character whenever I would remember Hackers. I'd think back to Hackers and be like, yeah, that dude from Breakfast Club. And people would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
The
It's
Plague.
actually Fisher Stevens, the guy who does Brown Face and Short Circuit.
That was a big thing in the 80s. A lot of actors doing it. Like, do you remember that movie where the guy went to college as a black guy and he put himself in blackface?
God.
C. Thomas Howell. He was in it.
Jesus. What is the name of that movie?
You're gonna have to show that one.
Right. You say C. Thomas Howell?
Just get struck for some kind of thing.
That's
was like it Man on Campus, maybe? Big Man on Campus, something like that. Big Man on Campus. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's one. That's the one with the fucking caveman. There were a lot of these kind of movies in the 80s.
Dead Man on Campus?
Oh, with Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Oh, is that what?
Soul Man. Was that Soul Man?
Soul Man?
Shit. Come on, C. Thomas Howell, where are you at? What'd you do? Oh, man. Yeah, it is Soul Man.
Soul Man, yeah.
A white man
a college
takes
student
tanning pills.
Pretends to be black to get a black-only scholarship to Harvard Law.
I didn't realize the plot was he takes tanning pills in order to pretend to be black.
Holy fuck. He's taking melanin pills?
He's just fucking Rachel Dolezal-ing everybody.
Isn't there a guy who actually did that who's like big on YouTube now?
I don't know. I mean, Shaun White apparently is a white guy.
Dude, C. Thomas. Holy fuck, dude. It's bad. He looks like a Jewish kid painted brown. Oh my god.
It's so racist beyond words.
Dude, that is wild. Oh my god.
And the thing is too,
it looks like Treat Williams in blackface.
and that was racist in the 80s too. It wasn't like, oh, it was a different time.
Yeah, like, oh my god. I mean, it was racist always, but like,
well, I mean, like, yeah, but like,
yeah, the 80s was already like, self-aware of this shit. It's funny too. You look up Soul Man and a picture of Rachel Dolezal comes up. And the tagline on the movie trailer was a comedy with heart and soul. Guess who's coming to college? Soul Man.
And he speaks in jive. Oh my god.
Law school made a man out of Mark Watson. A soul man? ? And he's shrugging on the fucking cover. Oh my god, dude. It's like the most the studio that lacks any bit of self-awareness. From the guys who brought you Rape Party. Like, oh my god.
Oh, they got Mindy Kaling's brother on there. That's hilarious.
Soul Man. Yeah. When you look up the results for this, it just brings up this guy.
That's Mindy Kaling's brother.
Why I faked being black for med school. This is what the fuck,
dude.
I didn't even know about this.
That bottom one next to the poster looks just like the Garbage Pail Kids.
This one,
yeah,
that was the one where I said it looked like Treat Williams in blackface. Yeah.
There's a Garbage Pail Kids movie. It looks just like that.
Oh my god, dude. I love this though. Guess who's coming to college? Soul Man, a comedy with heart and soul. And then
is there
as if that wasn't bad enough, law school made a man out of Mark Watson. A soul man? Is this okay? You tell us. Rachel Dolezal. Here's that Wisconsin grad student that pretended to be black that just got outed like this.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah, that's evidently like a recurring thing, which is fucking insane. It has a classic movie collection, which looks like it got a DVD release, but this also looks very photoshopped.
Fucking 4K HD.
Here we go, though. Amazon.com. There are tons of copies of it.
If that's on Prime, that could be the best Halloween film.
It says it's on Prime to rent for $4 or $8, depending on the quality you want to watch it in.
Oh shit.
Can you imagine the heart and soul they injected into that movie? Dude, how do you know all these Dracula movies, Kevin? I'm starting to think you're just making these up off the hip. What's up, Christian? Dracula Untold.
I liked the vampire that he meets in the cave a lot. I thought all that was really cool. And then the rest of the movie I got bored with.
Yeah, that ended up getting like botched because of studio meddling, because that was the one where they were like in the middle of it. They were like, we're going to do the shared Universal Monster universe, and this needs to tie into that. And they fucked it up. But that was that Luke Evans dude actually did a good job and everything. It was just, again, like it's like half a good movie sprinkled in with a bunch of shit.
Yep. And originally, too, they were going to do a Wolfman movie. You know, they did with Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, and that was before they decided to tie them all together. That was the whole...
And the director of that was Joe Johnston.
They did the reboot Wolfman with Anthony Hopkins, I think it was, right?
No, he was in the Wolfman with Benicio.
Okay, wasn't that one? I couldn't remember if that was the same one. Yeah, they did that reboot, and then they realized afterwards, they were like, oh, we need to tie these all together because now the Marvel movies are blowing up, and that's why Dracula Untold came and everything, but The Mummy ended up bombing, and that was the first big one where they were like, yeah, we're doing the shared universe now, and it bombed.
Mummy was terrible.
I haven't even seen it yet, dude.
I'm a Tom Cruise fan. Like, I like his movies. I think he always does something really exciting and fun, and that movie was just terrible from start to finish.
That was the whole thing. I was like, oh, is he going to be like an old version of like Brendan Fraser's character in the Mummy movies? And like,
right. And
they're going to kind of do this modern like Marvel mashup where eventually we're going to have all these sort of like heroes taking on the Universal monsters. But it was like, no, it turned into a mess.
Yeah, Russell Crowe plays Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, who's essentially Nick Fury for the series. And they ripped off American Werewolf in London, where his friend dies in the movie, and we see him constantly as like a ghost, like an apparition, but he's like, you know, deteriorating throughout the whole length of the film. So it's just a total ripoff of that scene. I mean, of that stuff from American Werewolf in London. But the Wolfman was originally supposed to be directed by Mark Romanek, and I was really excited for that because I love Mark Romanek.
I can't even find the picture now of the Universal. They did like a cast photo with all of them.
Yeah, with like Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp.
I can't even find it now.
But Mark Romanek was going to do that, and he was going to do a very different kind of movie. And then when they had like creative differences, he left.
Who was Javier Bardem supposed to play? Was he the Invisible Man?
No, I think it's going to be Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
Johnny Depp was going to be the Invisible Man. I think he was going to be Frankenstein.
That's what I thought was funny, though. The Mummy bombed, and then they were like, we're doing the Invisible Man, but it's going to be about like spousal abuse, and it's not tying into this Marvel universe anymore.
But it was good.
And now they're giving them all the Blumhouse. I thought that stuff was cheesy as shit. Like again, it's one of those ones where like the script is great. It's a great idea and everything. And it just doesn't translate to anything interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe if I were like a beaten woman or something, but I don't know.
I actually enjoyed The Wolfman.
Faust is ridiculously insane and corny as all hell, but I love it. And I feel like, was that Brian Yuzna, the dude who did Society?
I don't know. I just know it's based on the comic.
Yeah. Let me see. Faust.
And that was on Red Letter Media also.
Oh, yeah. They did not seem to enjoy it the way I did. So I'm pretty sure that's Yuzna, the dude who did. Oh, I just clicked on something different. What the shit?
Did you like The Wolfman?
I remember like not minding it. It wasn't like anything like crazy good or crazy bad. It just was like a movie. Yeah, that Faust
exactly.
was directed by Yuzna, the dude who did Society, which is why it's like such a weird gore fest. Like there's a lady that literally melts into like a puddle of tits and ass. I remember that like really freaking out the Red Letter Media guys in their review.
Society is one of the craziest movies I've ever seen.
That's why like I tell people like if you've seen Society, check out Faust. Like it's corny as hell, but like it's Yuzna doing his thing again. Like there's a lot of weird gross out stuff like Society had, and Society is like out there. It's not as crazy as that one, but like
nothing could be.
lots of cool like that. The tits and ass puddle lady is like an actual principal prosthetic, like it's not CG or anything. And it's this weird time capsule of like very, very 90s that you just don't see anymore.
Is he good at the action stuff?
It's not bad. It's very weird, but yeah, Benicio del Toro's Wolfman Christian.
Yeah.
Just like I don't remember it being anything like super like stand out.
It's not, but I did find it really enjoyable. Like,
yeah, it's worth a watch.
Yeah, I went into it like, oh, this is gonna suck because it's not the movie I wanted it to be, and then it turned out I actually really enjoyed it.
Then there wasn't there rumors for a while Gosling was gonna play him?
Oh, really?
I think that was supposed to be for the ones with Russell Crowe and everybody, where they were gonna do the shared Wolfman was going to be a younger Wolfman.
I wish they had done.
There was like rumors of it.
I wish they had done a shared universe, but with the Victorian era stuff, as opposed to updating everything.
It was like they couldn't fucking decide on it because like two different executive producers, like one of them was like it should be a period piece, and the other one was like no, it should be like a Marvel movie, and they couldn't decide. And that's why it was so weird. Was they were like they're rebooting the Universal movies, they don't tie together, and they did the Wolfman. Came out. It was like, competent movie. I'm pretty sure it made its money back, but wasn't like any sort of boom or anything.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we don't know. And then I think it was Dracula Untold was the next one. And then The Mummy. I could have those two swapped around.
No, you're right.
But Dracula Untold, I'm pretty sure, like barely made its money back because I was working at the theater when that was out. And like no one was coming to see it. It kind of almost ended up being like a sad love story from what I remember.
Yeah,
again, that was a one where it like had some great stuff in it. I remember enjoying watching it. I couldn't tell you like a damn thing about it other than, like you said, really liking the like cave vampire design.
Yep. That was all really creepy and cool. And then it just goes into generic action movie.
And like 300 that was the whole thing, was like he was like the one like prosthetic effects scene was like this weird fucking, I wouldn't be surprised if that's like Doug Jones or something in that scene. Like,
it's the dude from Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones? Which one?
Yeah, it's see, I get all their names mixed up. It's Tyrion Lannister's dad, the main Lannister guy.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about.
But the bad guy,
dude who looks like his soul's been sucked out of him.
Yeah, he was in.
Charles Dance.
Last Action Hero. He was the villain in that.
Charles Dance. He's the glass-eyed man in Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
I never remember his name either, and I love him. Another awesome character actor.
Great. We got two themes going. We got basically remakes of previous movies, and then. Really great character actors. He's
another British character actor.
Yep.
The sub theme. He fucking stole the show back in the day on Last Action Hero. He fucking is like one of the best parts in a movie that's got a ton of cool shit in it. He's like a really standout, ridiculous villain. Like I remember thinking he was so cool when I was a little kid. And evidently one of the first things to pop up is Game of Thrones star Charles Dance is fucking jacked out of his mind for how old he is.
Oh, really?
And he bangs models.
Good for him.
Dude, I'm sharing screen just for this. Go Charles Dance.
Damn.
Pretty jacked old man.
Dude, look at him right there when he was young and how jacked he was.
Slaying models. Yeah, I was like, I can't tell if this is from like a Bond movie or something. I'm like, The Widow. He evidently did a lot of movies where he was just fucking lonely women.
I'll bet Game of Thrones like upped his status. He was like, "Oh, I'm getting fucking laid."
Oh, he was like a handsome British character actor back in the day, and evidently was a leading man in a bunch of stuff too. I don't know how I never remember his name, but he's in tons of shit, like you were saying.
But he is very British looking.
Is he one of the old vampires in the Underworld movies too?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I can't remember if I'm mixing him up with someone else or not. Actor. I know he does like a ton of historical shit just because he has everything. That look. Yeah, he was in the newer Godzilla.
I didn't like either of those.
The new one was like, you could watch it like on mute. Like they should have released a version that had none of the dialogue and it was just like the fucking ambient audio and the visuals. Yeah, he's Thomas in Underworld Blood Wars. And I was like, I think I remember him being a vampire in something else too. Yeah, he played Frankenstein in Victor Frankenstein, evidently.
Oh, I watched like 20 minutes of that and turned it off.
Is that the Max Landis one?
Yeah, he has not made anything good that I've watched or read.
Max Landis?
Yeah.
Let's jump to him really quick. Sad too, man. I thought for sure he was gonna do that American Werewolf in London remake, and then he did a bunch of other weird shit.
Fucking Bright was terrible.
It's been announced and it's still just sitting around. He gets so much shit, and this guy has like Me Too accusations floating around and all this other shit. Like
he got Me Too'd, so that's probably why.
Yeah, American Werewolf in London is supposed to be his next thing. Shadow on the Cloud, I haven't even heard of. Dirk Gently, a bunch of people say is great, but I like haven't watched it. Mr. Right, I remember being corny. Beth loved American Ultra. Me, Him, and Her is like some movie about like gay dudes sharing a girl or some shit. I remember hearing about that.
Okay.
Chronicle is the only thing I remember enjoying really from him.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that he wrote that. Yeah, that was good.
I forgot that was his first big breakout thing.
Superman pitch. I watched, he had like an hour-long Superman pitch on YouTube, and it starts out really cool, and then the longer he goes, you're like, oh, this is just fucking terrible. And he keeps going. Like, this
the
is
Death
worse.
and Return of Superman short.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just him talking about his vision for Superman, and it's just like a 12-year-old kid.
Oh my god, and he wrote one of the worst episodes of Masters of Horror.
Dear Woman, I remember that.
Yeah, that was his first writing credit, and holy shit. Yeah, Castlevania Lords of Shadows, I love those games. That is exactly it, and it even kind of feels like they ripped the design off from the main character in that game.
Yeah, you're right.
Like they just sort of toned down the red hues and everything in it, but you're completely right, Christian. I never even thought about that. And
the show's pretty cool too.
I kept just because I was working at the theater at the time, I was like popping in and watching like just random scenes from that, like you get used to after a couple days of the movie playing, like how far into the showtime like the cool shit would happen. Mm-hmm. So like you pop in for Avengers to see like the big fight scene and stuff like that, and see how people are reacting to it. But Dracula Untold, I kept like walking in to watch like the cave vampire stuff, be like, hell yeah. But yeah, wow, I never really noticed that. That is like almost a blatant rip off of is that Simon and Lord of Shadows? I haven't played those games in a while. It's the newer ones they did on the newer consoles, and the games kick ass. They kind of play like a God of War type of game.
Oh, okay.
But they're really well done. There's 2 of them, if I remember.
What John Landis is is Landis' dad.
Yeah, it's his dad, and he did American Werewolf in London. He did the Twilight Zone movie that killed a bunch of kids, and
that's why I was
a famous character actor.
That's why I was bringing it up, because like he made all these amazing movies and Thriller and everything, and I didn't really know the story behind the Twilight Zone thing. Yeah, and then I watched a whole documentary on it on YouTube, and I didn't realize how sketchy he and his producers were about it. Like I thought it was it's just an accident.
Yeah, I think there's like a story that like they paid the families like $200 of the 2 children who died.
Yep. and they like convinced them to let their kids go on the set when the stuntmen were telling them it's too dangerous.
Yep, the families were on set and watched their kids get decapitated. It was fucking horrible.
And it was all like, and it's basically the producer's fault. Like they were warned and they went around it, and the kids weren't supposed to be on set.
Gabriel. Why did I think it was Simon in those? Simon's the one with the weird bangle and shit on his head in the old ones. Because aren't you like already a vampire in that one?
I don't know. I haven't played that.
And I think the second one like jumped up to modern times. It was weird, but I remember liking those too. Fuck, what were we just talking about? Just completely lost my train of thought.
So what movies we got left?
It said Burning. Hell Comes to Frogtown is the hilarious Rowdy Piper one. I think that's...
Oh, wait, I know what that is. That's like the Western, right?
I think it's on Shudder right now. Yeah, it's like a Western, and he comes to a town and like rapes a bunch of women. It's really weird.
Yeah, I saw that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I remember seeing it when I was a kid too, and it's really rapey.
Wasn't everything in the 80s?
Scare Package is that new one I was telling you about that's on Shudder. That's like an anthology series from like a year or two ago. Joe Bob's got a cameo in it. There's like some well-known people in it. Fucking what's his face? Gold Dust, the wrestler.
Gold Dust is in it?
His real name. Why I can't think of it.
His dad is the American Dream, baby.
Shit. Yeah, his dad's Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes.
Dustin Rhodes, is that
Dustin Rhodes.
one? Yep. And then Cody Rhodes is his son, right?
Yep.
Dude who runs AEW.
American Dream.
Yeah, Dustin Rhodes is in one of the shorts too. He plays like a slasher, but it's these weird like campy shorts that all sort of tie together. That was on Shudder, and that was pretty good. I'd definitely rewatch that if you wanted to go over that one at some point. Mausoleum, which I already mentioned, which we should just look up on here because Mausoleum and Mortuary came out the same year, and they sound like almost the same movie from what I remembered. 1983.
I need to get off of here in a few minutes to make some dinner.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. This was trying to crank through these real quick. So Mausoleum has like some dope ass art and stuff. I think that's what really caught my eye with it. Okay. Trying to rapidly share this shit. There we go. Wicked 80s old art, and it's just supposed to have like all sorts of weird creatures and shit in it, and it looked super campy in 80s.
Looks like Desdemona. I mean, Demona from Gargoyles in that one picture.
Oh yeah. And then what was the other one? Mortuary.
Oh, is that the chick from the Beyond or whatever it is? The Stuart Gordon movie?
From Beyond? Barbara Crampton.
Yeah, was that her?
I don't know if that was her. That might have been her. And this is Mortuary, which just had this weird pale-faced guy like everywhere in it, but I've heard good things about it in the past. I don't know if it's good things because it's campy as shit or if it's actually good.
It's like Captain Howdy.
It's like, is that Bill Paxton?
Looks just like him.
Right, I can't fucking tell.
Oh, I want to see Underwater.
Bill Paxton in Mortuary.
Nice.
Oh, Underwater was actually pretty damn good. I think that was on Prime. I think it was on one of them.
No, it's not yet because I've been wanting to see it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was on one of them. Is it Netflix maybe?
No, because I have Netflix too. It's like, the only thing I don't have is Shudder.
It's like, how did I see that? Or did I see that at my buddy's house who steals movies? So I feel like it was on something. Maybe I rented it on digital or something. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, you can buy it on those things.
Yeah,
I just don't like paying. I like free.
It wasn't bad. Mortuary, I think Mausoleum looks better. Mortuary just looks like this weird pale-faced dude following people around, and but Bill Paxton is in this one somehow. Dead Heat was another one. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that was written by...
I have it saved on my Amazon list.
Yeah, Shane Black and his brother wrote it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's actually like the movie that got his brother blacklisted.
It's the Joe Piscopo movie, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever told this story. Actually, him and Treat Williams come back around again. I don't know if I've ever told this story, but the one year that I did Boston Comic-Con, we met Shane Black's college roommate. And he...
Is it Fred Decker?
No, but Fred Decker was one of the roommates.
Yeah.
He's the one who went into, I think his name's Richard. I have his business card somewhere, and I've emailed him a couple times in the past. He writes like not like medical journals, but they're like basically like academic books.
Okay.
For like all sorts of colleges and stuff. They're like books that like almost don't get released to the public. They're just like research books essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I met him, I want to say it was 2016 Boston Comic-Con, if I'm remembering correctly. And we met him, really nice dude. He actually called Shane Black on the phone and only got his voicemail, but it was like actually Shane Black's voicemail. And I was like, this is fucking surreal right now.
That's awesome. I love Shane Black.
But yeah, he's like, still keeps in contact with him. He was the one who got me in contact with him in the first place. And I was able to get that was how I first got the Shadow Company script.
What's the Shadow Company script?
I just reached out to Shane Black's people. Shadow Company is the Shane Black, I think it was Shane Black and John Carpenter movie that never got made.
What? I have no idea about this. What is this? Tell me this.
Yeah, Kurt Russell is
What? He's getting better.
Kurt Russell is a soldier in Vietnam who comes home from the war, and his old platoon has like resurrected as zombies, and he has to hunt them all down and kill them.
Dude, you gotta send me this. This is amazing.
Yeah, me and Kevin, I printed it out. I have it in a binder right next to me right now. Hang on a second. I printed it out because me and Kevin were like, okay, if we do something licensed, this is the one we have to do. And I have the original Day of the Dead full script before it got split into 2 movies. Because Day of the Dead, the original script, is actually Day of the Dead and Land of the Dead, the movies, in one movie.
Oh.
And it's like the two movies are very different, like after tons of rewrites. Shadow Company, though, I want to say it's like 120 pages, something like that.
That's like standard for a movie script, isn't it?
Yeah, John Carpenter's Shadow Company, written by Shane Black and Fred Decker.
Fuck, dude. That's amazing.
Ready? You want to talk about a great closeout to the end of the day? A Lone Wolf production, executive producer, Walter Hill.
Oh my God. Dude, I'm going to start jerking it.
Yeah. So, that's the script. And it's actually a little bit thicker than most of the scripts I've ever printed out to read through and stuff. And this one I actually printed out because it's like, read through it, start taking notes, marking things down, figuring out character descriptions and stuff like that. But Kevin and I we're too busy with Cade and everything. But I was like, man, if we put a pitch package together and like the first 10 pages of that and sent it out to Shane Black's people and we're like, yo, let's get this shit going. Talk to Carpenter, like, let's make a comic book.
Shane Black, John Carpenter, Fred Decker, Walter Hill, and Kurt Russell. Holy fucking shit,
that's like and when you know the time frame of when this movie was supposed to come out, you're like, how the fuck did this not get made? And
what year was it?
You read it and it's like, oh yeah, Kurt Russell was supposed to play this guy. Like, it is literally like they're basically describing Kurt Russell and all of the descriptions and stuff. It was like, I want to say like 87. Like, it was like the prime years of all of them.
Oh my God,
like, I'm pretty sure it was in the mid 80s. I don't know if this has a date on it.
That's like Shane Black.
This draft was finished, the final draft, October 20th, 1988.
Yeah, so that's post Lethal Weapon and Predator.
Yeah, he was already like a huge fucking name at this point and had already sold, I think at that point, the most expensive script ever, right? Wasn't that his Lethal Weapon one?
Yep, the first one.
So I don't know if that's the thing, is like they were asking too much for the script and just couldn't get the budget for it. But
damn, dude, and that's John Carpenter too in the '80s when he was still putting out like Prince of Darkness and Big Trouble in Little China and all kinds of great stuff.
Yeah, the opening, just a black screen in silence, superimpose the following card, and the sins of our fathers shall be visited upon the sons and the daughters, Luke 6:8. And then it fades open, and Creedence Clearwater Revival's Run Through the Jungle rises on the soundtrack as we fade into Saigon 1973 nighttime. And you get to see, like, right out the rip, it's like Predator style. The platoon just gets, like, murdered, I'm pretty sure. I haven't read through it again in a while, but, like, there's tons of it, like, highlighted for the dialogue and everything and all the different characters, but it's such a fun script to read through.
Dude, I'm so jealous right now.
So ridiculous. I'm pretty sure you can find it online now. Like, when I initially found it, it was, years back. And now it is, like, out all over the place. And I know I have the file somewhere, so I could just send it to you. But, like, yeah, that's one, like, I'm shocked every time I find out someone hasn't heard of it before, because it's so fucking ridiculous. I actually read some of the Antler script earlier and got, like 15, 20 pages into it, and was like, from what I've read of shit, like, most people say, like, for every page of script, there's about a minute in movie. It's like 1 page or 2 pages, about a minute in movie, basically, as it translates to film. And I was like, if that's the case, I read the first 20 minutes of that movie and it was boring as shit. It's like, holy shit, like, this script is insane from the get-go. Like, I don't know how something like Shadow Company didn't get made. And then I read stuff like Antlers, and I'm like, I know this is supposed to be, like, a little bit more of a slow burn, artsy horror movie, but I'm like, I read the short story last night, and that, I told you, was written at, like, an 8th grade level. Not that I think I'm some fucking amazing writer, but there's a couple parts in that book where I was like, how old is the guy who wrote this? Like, it feels like it's written by someone in high school. And it's not bad. It's just, like, very, very simple vocabulary and everything, which there's kind of a resurgence of that right now, where, like, you become a bigger writer if more audiences can read your shit and it's simpler. I think we talked about that in the past. Like, if your concept is interesting and entertaining, but easier to follow than other stuff, more people are going to follow that. But the short story is, like, very weirdly lacking, and then just, like, abruptly ends. And then the movie, I'm 20 pages in, and it's, like, very, very slow. There's, like, a cool little scene at the opening, but the rest of it, I'm like, damn, a lot of this movie is just going to be like this teacher talking to other teachers, and then shit's going to get weird at the end in, like, the 3rd act. And I'm like, you can't do movies like that anymore.
Yeah.
Or we need to just go back to Splatterfests. So we got Fright Night 1 and 2, Trucks, The Church, Dolls. I starred Hellmaster because I'm watching that no matter what. Dead Heat is a good one.
Yeah, Dead Heat would be good because I haven't seen that.
Oh, if you haven't seen it too, definitely Dead Heat, because that's just ridiculous. It basically got Shane's brother blacklisted. It was insane. And it's like, now it's like a huge cult hit, but at the time it fucking bombed. Dead Heat, The Howling, and Brain Scan.
Nice.
The majority of these are already online. I got Lords of Salem on here too, just because I haven't watched it yet, but we don't have to do that one. You haven't seen 31 either, so we could just do, like, Lords of Salem and 31.
Rob Zombie Power Hour.
Yeah, you have to watch a shitty one that I have seen, and I have to watch a shitty one that you've seen.
I think I'm going to the short end of the stick here, though, because Lords of Salem was all right.
Yeah. So far, you've told me it's a decent movie. I can't say the same about 31.
Yeah, Lords of Salem, it's not a great film by any means, but it has some really cool stuff in it, which kept my interest, you know?
Yeah.
31, I have, like, no desire to watch because it looks like Juggalos, the movie.
That's pretty accurate. And I think that'll be a good one because that's like a punishment episode, but we can do that later on. Shit. So what do we do first?
We can have people vote on Twitter.
Yeah, I know Fright Night, Dolls, Trucks, and I think it's Dead Heat are all on Prime right now.
Yeah, Dead Heat definitely is. I know that.
And I think some of them are also on Shudder too, but that doesn't matter if it's on Prime. Yeah, so I'll just pull up from the ones I just starred on the list that we talked about and everything. Is there any other ones that I didn't mention that you had thought of that you wanted to see? Because I tried to just remember shit we had already been talking about and stuff that I knew was on Prime while I was scrolling through it.
Yeah, no, I mean, Brainscan was just the one that came to me as we were talking. I was like, oh shit, that's a really weird, obscure one that I haven't seen anybody talk about in forever.
Hell yeah.
But no, I mean, I can think more about it tomorrow and see if there's anything that comes up to mind.
Yeah, get on Prime, scroll through it or whatever, find some other stuff.
I got like 100 movies saved in my watch list on Prime, so I'm sure I have something else we can.
Yeah, and I'm certain there's probably tons of overlap in it. So,
and like, if we do want to do like a really bad, like a genuinely bad movie, Bad Ben, which I don't know if you've seen, is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that. It made me think of, I think it's called Evil Ed.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what Evil Ed is.
Yeah, Evil Ed is he's like a special effects guy in horror movies that's slowly going insane.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's the same movie. That movie's actually not bad, but Big Money Hustlers. Holy shit. An actual Juggalo movie.
I would watch that, actually. I would want to see that because I saw the trailer for it and I was like, holy fucking shit.
I have a cousin who was like evidently kicked in the head as a child and
explains it.
Loved that movie growing up for some reason. And even at like a very young age, we were all like, what is wrong with him?
That should be on the back of the DVD with in brackets the dude that kicked in the head.
For your friend who has severe brain damage.
But yeah, Bad Ben is a movie made by he's just a regular guy who decided one day he was going to make a horror movie, and it's just him, and it's just fucking hysterical, completely serious. But after this, he got kind of famous for it, and he made like 6 different sequels to it, and now he pretends like it's a comedy the whole time. But he originally set out to make a horror movie.
Bad Ben. We're gonna have a Bad Ben night, which is basically looks like the better version of Paranormal Activity to me.
And he's a Philly dude too, so he has that great Philly accent the whole time.
Oh hell yeah, that is excellent. So I think Fright Night, Trucks, The Church, Dolls. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe Dead Heat. I'll have to make sure that that's on Prime too, but I'll put up a little poll for that when we're done on here. I mean, we can wrap it up now, but yeah, I'll put up a poll for that after this and fucking we'll see.
I gotta look to see if Big Money Hustlers is on there too.
What people want to see. Yeah, I'm like writing shit on my hand like a fucking crazy person. Juggalo movie. Walk into the other room and be like, Beth, we have to watch a Juggalo movie tonight.
From visionary director Shaggy Two Dope.
Yeah, so thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us, talking horror movies, games, all this crazy shit. We're definitely going to do more of this. Today was basically just figuring out what the hell we're going to jump into and pick apart first, dissect these movies more thoroughly, and just have fun with it and dick around with you guys. So if you follow us on Twitter, I'm at Rooster_Puncher. Geoff is at
Geoff Elkins.
Geoff Elkins. There you go. Perfect. His name. And I always forget if it's Geoff Elkins or just G Elkins.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll be putting up a poll. I'm sure I'll get Geoff to retweet it and everything. But you guys can vote on what the first movie will be out of this selection of stupid movies we talked about. Some of them are legitimately cool. Some of them are corny as shit. But I think all the first ones other than Trucks are like legitimately solid movies that I just haven't seen in forever. Trucks could also just be fucking hilarious. Like, I don't know. I didn't watch a trailer or anything. I just saw that like dollar store skeleton driving a big rig and was like, oh yeah, and saw that it was the same short story Maximum Overdrive is based on. So big coin flip, but we'll figure it out. If you haven't already, go to the link in the description and check out City of Rot. Back that shit. We're on Indiegogo for 2 more weeks.
And please share it.
More days. Yeah, share the hell out of it. And if you haven't already, I put up the link for Alterna Access in the description now too, so you can check out all things Voidwalker, Can't Kill Cade, and just Alterna in general. Ordering comics directly to your door, which is rad in these days. My brain is just shot.
Yeah, I'm done now.
Right, 3 hours and 20 minutes. I'm basically a vegetable. I need to go eat something, reboot, and do it all again.
It is dark outside now.
Yeah, right. The sun has gone down. It's cold. My girlfriend came home like an hour ago. I was like, when are you going to be done? And I didn't even answer her. So here we go. Thanks again, guys. And maybe we'll be back tomorrow.